It is my genuine hope that your cell phone is working properly this morning. Of course, if you're an AT&T customer. The other thing, and we spent a lot of time on this yesterday, first, the reports coming out that cell phones weren't working, and then, misinformation flies, and then the conspiracy theories fly. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MJ Morning Show. MJ here with Fester and special guest Chloe this morning. Hello, Chloe.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, you got to speak louder. You got to right into the mic and project.
Yeah, almost like you're yelling at somebody.
Good morning, everybody.
No, it's don't listen to Fester. It's not like you're yelling at somebody. Just speak and project into the microphone. So this time yesterday, a lot of people were experiencing issues. Started, the 3 a.m. hour Eastern time, 4 or 5, as the world starts to wake up.
Right.
That's when people start noticing that issues are occurring. And AT&T Cellular, AT&T Wireless, had a major issue, and the company seems to be attributing it to a software update. Remember, I said that on the show. Was this a software update, a firmware update? Did something go bad? But, of course, all of the conspiracy theories start flying yesterday. Then, there are outages on Verizon and T-Mobile. But Verizon and T-Mobile were saying there was really nothing wrong with our network. So people trying to suggest that there were maybe even more widespread phone issues, good chance that people on Verizon and T-Mobile were trying to get a hold of people on the AT&T network. So is that what exacerbated the situation, that people thought they were having trouble with T-Mobile and Verizon when in fact they really weren't? They just weren't able to connect with people that were on AT&T, which had the main issue.
So we're just going to buy AT&T's explanation.
No, there's a full investigation. The FBI's involved. You've got the FCC involved. You have Homeland Security, CISA, the cyber infrastructure folks. They're involved. So there's a full investigation. Listen, I can give you some of the details. This was an ABC report late last night. A temporary disruption that affected AT&T customers in the U.S. Thursday was caused by a software upgrade, according to the company. Listen, if there was some type of internal hack or some type of foreign actor or foreign government hacked into AT&T and shut down the network as some kind of a little worm or a bug test to see if... And the other thing to realize, and we got into this on the program yesterday, we've talked about this numerous times over the years, that foreign governments, the Chinese, the Russians, maybe Iran and North Korea, there's no doubt about it that they have hacked into critical infrastructure in this country. There are reports that some of these foreign governments, some of these bad actors, that they have little poison worms that are sitting in networks, whether it's power grids or communication systems, and that in the event of war, that they can activate some of these infrastructure damaging cyber attacks. And are we doing the same thing? Do we have the ability to take down networks and screw with other countries in the event of a war? Or if we need to retaliate against their bad activity? Absolutely.
I would hope so.
I don't think there's any doubt that we could also, play in that arena as well. But
if we went to war with Russia, I would hope Putin's cell phone wouldn't work.
Yeah, I'm sure we can take a couple of things down there. But the claim is that it was a software upgrade that went awry in the middle of the night. Oh, speaking of...
Hey, appropriate.
Look at that. Yeah. I wonder if he's going to do that. So in the middle of the night. So Michelle and I will be joining some friends of ours. We were graciously invited to see Billy Joel and Sting at Ray J on Saturday night. So Michelle and I have got listeners saying, hey, MJ, you going to be in a suite or are you going to be in the stands? Yeah, we've got, I think we're in club seats somewhere. Yeah, I got to look at our seats, but I think we've got some fairly decent seats.
Oh, wouldn't it be crazy if I could see you from the handicap row?
Are you going or not?
I am so 50-50 on going.
Well, what does your wife say? You've got...
You know what? What is she going to leave me? What big deal? Who really cares what she has to say?
Anyway, so we'll get into the cell phone story a little later on. They're still assessing the outage from yesterday. You're getting the typical AT&T, corporate mumbo jumbo statement. Quote, "We're continuing to assess of today's outage to ensure we're delivering the best service to our customers and what they expect and deserve." Okay, thank you very much. It took them 9 hours probably to craft that. Yeah, they say it was a software update that went wrong. You had reports out there. I saw some professor of communications. This has the hallmarks of a major cyber attack. And listen, could it be? Do foreign bad governments and actors have the ability to initiate a cyber attack? Of course they do. Absolutely. But in this case, they're saying that it was a software upgrade that I guess the progress bar was taking a long time for, update 30% complete, 33, 34, 35. So something went wrong. And if that's not the truth, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be discovered and that AT&T will be outed for lying. But at this point, as I brought up on yesterday's program, without knowing anything, I suggested, hey, is this just a software upgrade or some type of a firmware or some kind of technical issue? Because they do that stuff in the middle of the night. They don't do software upgrades at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
They don't do it right in the middle of the business day or right in the rush home traffic time.
You get the notices from your bank or whatever. Online banking is not going to be available from 1 a.m. Sunday morning until 6 a.m. Sunday morning as we're doing a network update. We're updating, you get these notices from companies or businesses or banks or whatever that, something digitally is not going to be accessible. And they generally do it when the least number of people are going to be utilizing a particular system or service. Like with a bank, you know what? Saturday night into Sunday morning in the middle of the night, probably a good time.
No. It's the best time to open an account because there's nobody else is in the pipeline. It's really a very quick service.
There you go. So it hopefully has been corrected. By the end of the day yesterday, it looks like most had been corrected. However, there were people that were told, oh, yeah, the system's back up at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12. But I heard people saying that they were not having full connectivity on AT&T Wireless until late yesterday afternoon. So I don't know what you missed. I don't know if text messages or any email, whatever. I don't know if it all came rushing back or if any crap was like lost in the ether. Like, listen, I told the story when I came back from Indonesia. I'm on Verizon Wireless, and when I came back from 2 weeks in Indonesia with Chloe, my phone was screwed up. Hey, Chloe, did your phone have an issue, or did your texts come in? I forgot to ask you, because you were also connected to the travel pass while we were in Indonesia. Did your phone have any issue?
No issues at all.
You had no problem getting texts?
No, not at all. I think the difference, though, is that you have some weird phone. I have the typical iPhone.
Oh yeah, I've got a Google Android phone, so I have a weird phone.
Very weird.
That's right. You have the more superior, holier than thou iPhone. Excuse me.
Exactly.
Just getting rolling, folks. 6:08 at the MJ Morning Show on Q105. It's a busy Friday. There's no Froggy today. I think he's back Monday. Who the hell knows?
Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe not.
Yeah, maybe he just exits the program. And then Roxanne's got, I don't know, some I don't even know what she's doing today.
I have no idea.
All right, back in a moment, folks. Just getting rolling here on a Friday. Traffic is on with Pat. MJ Morning Show back in minutes. MJ Morning Show here on Q105. MJ with Fester and Chloe joining us today as we wrap up the week. Final show of this week, 6:21 here on Friday. Weird celebrity day today. Yeah, I'll get into Red Lobster in just 1 second. Just a little, here's what's coming up on the MJ Morning Show.
Okay.
Little teaser. No, it's just a weird day when it comes to celebrities. Andy Cohen, the Bravo guy, and Anderson Cooper's cohort now after Kathy Griffin pissed off CNN at the New Year's Eve celebration. So Andy Cohen is being accused of sexual harassment.
By whom?
I'll get to that a little later on. And, that he forced someone to watch him have... Gwen Stefani wants to throw up in her mouth because of her old music with No Doubt. Oh, we'll get into that. Steven Tyler. Yeah, some legal issues with Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Bring that up. The Wendy Williams diagnosis. Did
Poor
you see?
Wendy.
I mean, I feel awful for her. I mean, we've had fun with, the Wendy Williams sound effect of her doing the burp fart live on TV.
It's a matter of time. She's not lonely. I apologize.
And
she apologized for each one. One apology.
I apologize. It's like Jimmy two times.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to get the papers. I'm going to apologize.
I've always liked
get
Wendy
the papers,
Williams.
get the papers. I have no issue with Wendy Williams, and I feel bad. She's had these terrible health issues. Didn't she collapse? She also, on top of the belch fart that she had live on air, but she also collapsed during a show where, literally, they had to go to commercial because she collapsed on the set. I feel bad for Wendy Williams, and now there's breaking news on Wendy Williams yesterday that she is now afflicted, it has been revealed, with the same ailment affecting Bruce Willis, the aphasia.
How crazy is that?
It's nuts. A rare condition.
Never heard of it before, Bruce Willis.
And now it's Wendy. So we'll get into that coming up. But wait, there's more. There's another crazy daytime television mystery, which we'll get into. So celebrity crap is on the way at some point. So you got to listen to the whole MJ Morning Show. You just can't just bite off a little piece. You got to listen to the whole show. And if you can't listen to the whole show live, then go back. After 11 a.m., the whole show, the podcast is available for you. You can listen on your phone, any of the major apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You just go to mjmorningshow.com, and the full show is posted right on the front page every day. So you can watch MJ TV anytime you want on demand. So we're live now on MJ TV. Hey, is my camera centered up, Andrew? It looks like I'm kind of tilted.
You can move it.
Yeah,
Can you reach it?
No. It's centered up if I move.
But you can move the camera to get you where you...
That's what I'm saying. I'm in the normal position where I stand, and it's like I'm all the way over to the side here. Hang on, let me...
Just adjust it a little bit. Not too much.
Somebody's messing with this camera every day. Who? Is it the afternoon guy Gino that comes in? Does he screw with the cameras?
Maybe he adjusts it a little bit to put himself in frame.
No, why? He doesn't need to be in frame. He's not on TV. There's no Gino TV.
I think
There's barely Gino's Pizza Rolls. All right.
Good point.
Come on.
I had Gino's Chicago-style pizza. Yeah. It was frozen at Aldi, and I bought it. It was great.
All right.
It was really authentic, really good stuff.
And I've really never been pleased with any, frozen pizza. Although the famous Anthony, the owner of Una Pizza Napolitana in New York City, one of the greatest pizza shops in the country, I believe he had launched a frozen line, which I haven't tried yet. But if anyone could kick out a frozen pizza, it would be Anthony from Una Pizza Napolitana.
I'd invest in that.
Yeah, from Chloe, you've been there. Is that amazing?
We've been to Italy and everything. Had Neapolitan pizza over there, and it is. Just like it. It's so good.
Yeah, his pizza's fantastic. Yeah, tough to get a reservation. Last I checked, he's only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you're closed 4 days out of the week, so it kind of got a little difficult to get a reservation there sometimes. All right, so where was it? Oh, speaking of food, Red Lobster. Have we ever in the history of the MJ Morning Show, you realize that this is the 30th year of the MJ Morning Show? We had what, 7 years off or so, from 2013 to 2020. But we started the MJ Morning Show as MJ and BJ back in February of 1994, so 30 years, and I have never talked about Red Lobster this much.
I mean, it may come up like in passing or maybe occasionally,
Right.
but never multiple times in a month, much less a week.
Yeah, this week we talked about it because they were doing the all-you-can-eat lobsters. They were only giving out the pass to 150 people, and then something else came up with Red Lobster. But there's something else now, and it has to do with the all-you-can-eat stuff. I saw an item. Red Lobster is making changes to the all-you-can-eat deals because customers ate so much last year, they lost their ass.
Yeah.
They lost millions and millions of dollars because of gluttons.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
I mean, this is really a terrible concept.
The brand announced in June that its ultimate endless shrimp offering would become permanent on the menu for customers. But it was solidified, and after the news came out about this, those who took advantage of the bottomless shrimp deal apparently ate too much shrimp, and it affected the bottom line of Red Lobster at the end of last year. According to CNN Business, third quarter earnings reports from Red Lobster noted an $11 million operating loss, of which the ultimate endless shrimp was seemingly the cause.
I am surprised it's only $11 million. I thought it'd be a lot more. I mean, MJ, how many shrimp could you eat? If you went in there focused.
Hey, Fester,
Yeah.
the ocean cold. They're running out of shrimp.
Listen,
The jerk store called.
they're running out of you.
Listen, yeah.
I mean, if you went in there on a mission, I'm not just walking in there like an afterthought. Maybe you could eat a couple for lunch, but if you went in there focused,
I mean, so you walk in,
and I know,
and is anybody going boom, baba, boom, while you're walking in?
I mean, where the people, get out of the way, they're cover their children's eyes as you
Chloe,
walk by.
do you even know what that's from?
No, but it was funny.
Wait a minute. You don't know what boom, baba, boom, baba. Have you ever seen the classic movie Stand By Me?
No.
Oh, we're watching it this
Oh,
weekend.
my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
We
We'll
are
watch it.
this weekend, in between your LSAT studies, we're watching Stand By Me. That is a classic.
Okay.
The pie eating the pie eating contest and the boom baba boom baba. All right, so where were we? Red Lobster.
Shrimp. So if you went in there on a mission to eat shrimp,
Yep.
I mean, I bet you I could eat 150 shrimp.
You know what? We ought to give that a try. Let's see if we can put Red
Stop.
Lobster into an operating loss before the first quarter ends.
When do you want to go? The only person I'll go with is you.
What about
because-
me?
Well, okay, you come along, but he's never. Have you ever been to Red Lobster, Chloe?
No,
No,
but
she's never
recently, Dad, haven't I been telling you that I've been craving lobster?
You have.
I have.
So
Well, also, hey, that A Taste of Boston, that place in South Tampa at Ballast Point, they heard me talking about whole belly clams. And one of the reasons why I'm going to really miss visiting Chloe up in New Hampshire at the University of New Hampshire is not flying into Boston and stopping in Essex or Ipswich to get the whole belly clams, or in Kittery, Maine at Bob's Clam Hut. Because we'd get off the plane in Boston and I would make a beeline right to like the Clam Box or JT Farnham's or
Let's be real. That's the only reason you visited me. Mom genuinely wanted to visit me and see my face.
Right.
You just tagged along
Just
that you
for the food.
literally for the food.
right.
Everything he does is for food.
That is not true. I really wanted to see you, but I still like the clams a lot as well. But, I brought this up, and then this A Taste of Boston, they bring in the whole belly clams from New England, and I got to try them. They've invited me. And then I got another email. I got an email from a place out in Riverview called Beef and Sea. And they're like it's like land and sea. It's beef and sea, so it's land-based food, seafood, and they also apparently have the whole belly New England clams as well, famous in Massachusetts and Maine, etc., New Hampshire.
That's cool.
All right, 6:31 at the MJ Morning Show. Let me just wrap this up quickly. But Red Lobster, they're saying that they lost money last year at least with the third quarter earnings, because so many people ate the endless shrimp. Well, it is called the endless shrimp promotion, isn't it?
Never ends. Do you have to leave when they close? I mean, it's endless.
Yeah, I think you got to leave when they close down. So that's probably in the fine print. Yeah, you can't stay, we're not making you shrimp at, 11 p.m., midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. But the deal was first offered at $20 for all you can eat shrimp.
That's too low.
And then they increased it to $23, and then they raised it to $25. In the fourth quarter, listen to this. Third quarter losses attributed to the all-you-can-eat shrimp at Red Lobster. Third quarter, as I mentioned, was $11 million. Fourth quarter losses at the end of last year increased to $12.5 million. Oh, man.
That's incredible.
Anyway, more Red Lobster news this week than ever in the 30-year history of the MJ Morning Show. Unbelievable. 6:32. Let's jump into the early morons in the news next. Great pile. Thanks for hanging with us. Hello to all the early listeners here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105, and we're back in just a matter of moments. Here we go, folks. Yeah, I haven't heard this in a while. Yeah, from that Advent Health advertising campaign back in the fall. They pulled this song from Bronze Radio Reunion from like 2015. And what?
Never heard of that band.
Fester, do you know how many times we had to hear this in the house?
Oh, I'm sure.
Listen,
it was like a phase for him for like 3 weeks.
Well, because the TV commercial was running all the time, and when I heard the song, I'm like, man, is that a real song or is that like a custom jingle? And you know what I did was I just Shazammed the TV. I went to Shazam on my phone and I just Shazammed the song and it comes up Bronze Radio Return or something. Was it Bronze Radio Reunion or Bronze Radio Return, I think. Yeah, that's the name. And so I Shazammed it. I'm like, oh, it's a real song. I'm like, wow. And then I did a little research and apparently they had some minor success, but I think they've made a lot more money selling their songs for like commercial use. And then Advent Health, They use that in a whole advertising campaign. People were telling me that, like at the Bucks games on the big jumbotron, they were running that like during the breaks and everything and timeouts. And yeah, exactly. Yeah. 6:42, rolling up on 6:43 at the MJ Morning Show. Early morons in the news, and I guess Chloe and Fester. Before I get to morons, you guys are conspiring that we're all going to lunch at Red Lobster now.
Sort of. Chloe says to me during the commercial break, I really have been dreaming about lobster. And
she has been. She did. You mentioned this to me earlier this week. It's like, Dad, can we get lobsters
every single day? For whatever reason, I'm missing the lobster up north, and I really want it.
So I was like, I've been really dreaming about the endless shrimp, and she's like, we should go to Red Lobster.
Wow, it's like a Reese's peanut butter commercial where they mix the
great tastes.
Yeah, the chocolate and the peanut butter. And remember those commercials when we were younger? That somebody was walking and then they'd like trip and fall and they would jam their chocolate in someone's peanut butter. Well, that sounds like a euphemism.
All righty. All right. Daughter's in the house.
Listen.
Chloe's in the house. Early morons in the news. Holy crap. And this happened near where my parents lived for like 20 years. Over on the other side of the state in Palm Beach Gardens. Florida woman talks about a car dropping from the overpass onto her car. Holy crap. Florida mother said she feels lucky to be alive after a car fell off an overpass and landed directly on top of her SUV. Man, she could have been squashed like a bug. All of a sudden, my roof caved in the back of the truck. The truck shook, said Angie Lewis. Then she realized that a car had come off the I-95 on-ramp and landed on us. Lewis had been driving west on PGA Boulevard and was stopped at a traffic light by the on-ramps of I-95 and PGA in Palm Beach Gardens. And my parents lived right up the street for 20 years. They lived in a place called Ballin Isles. And it was right in between I-95 and the Turnpike. Man, I can't tell you how many times I went to visit. I've sat at that traffic light. I've been right there.
Yeah, luckily, no cars fell on top of you.
Yeah, really?
How does that even happen?
I mean, if there's an accident and the car
just flips?
You see a car get hit by the side and then roll over. It's only like a 3-foot wall, right?
Yes,
she's just sitting at the traffic light, and here comes a car clearly going too fast and rammed right over the side and flew off and landed on top of her. She thought maybe a bomb went off or somebody rammed into all the stopped cars. She thought maybe the bridge collapsed. I mean, you're trying to figure out and process what just happened.
Yeah.
Then she saw the black Mercedes and realized that it had fallen from the overpass. Palm Beach Gardens police said the car was being driven by a juvenile who was trying to get away from officers. So the car was fleeing police. Investigators said the boy took the curve too fast and rammed the car right over the edge, and it landed on this woman's car. It landed on this Florida mother, Angie Lewis's Yukon Denali.
Be glad she wasn't like in a convertible or something.
That's a GMC, right? The
Yukon, yeah.
Yeah, the Yukon is GMC. Yeah. She said it was chaos. There were parts all over the road. She said it was like a scene out of a movie, but she was living in it. Somehow, nobody was injured. Oh, my God. I mean, she could have been killed. She could have been squashed like a bug. The back half of Lewis's roof had collapsed onto the rear seats, but no one was in the back at the time. Imagine if, like, her kids were back there.
Oh.
Those seats are where her young daughters usually sit when they're with her. I mean, this could have been a whole different story. She says that her emotions are coming and going, that she's crying now when she thinks about her car being demolished, and what if her kids were in the back seat? What if the car had landed on her vehicle just a couple of feet forward?
I mean, there's a lot of what ifs in this scenario.
Oh my God.
I'm glad she's okay.
Oh, juvenile bastard, fleeing police and then drove right off the edge. Can you imagine you're sitting at a light, the interstate's above you, and then suddenly a car flies and then lands on top of you? That's insane. Now, this could easily happen here, but this happened in Nebraska. You know, when you think about alligators in Nebraska, you don't think of it being a very prevalent issue, right?
Is it a big deal in Nebraska?
Well,
is it a zoo or
yeah,
something?
it is a
Okay.
zoo. Yeah, it's a zoo.
It was either going to be a zoo
Yeah.
or it was going to be like some old boy who keeps an alligator in his bathtub. Or
Yeah, you don't have a lot of just naturally roaming alligators in Nebraska. No, good guess. It is.
Aren't they miserable?
It is a zoo. So the alligators at this zoo exhibit in Nebraska, well, there's an issue.
Yeah, they're in Nebraska.
Well, other than that, they're trying to tell the zoo goers stop throwing coins into the alligator enclosure because the alligators are eating the change. And a Nebraska zoo is now telling visitors, please do not throw coins into the animal exhibits. The zoo veterinarians just removed $7 in coins from an alligator's stomach.
Oh my God.
Look at this cup of money they have.
$7 in coins.
Oh my God.
It's at the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha, Nebraska. And I thought this was a great story because, alligators are prevalent here. Alligators are, running around all the little lakes around town. We got alligators that are in like drainage canals.
Yeah, they're all over.
Yeah, we have alligators all over Florida, obviously. But in Omaha, they're saying, hey, zoo goers, stop throwing your pennies, your nickels, your quarters into the enclosure. Yeah, they had to remove about 70 U.S. coins from the alligator's stomach after the foreign objects were found during a routine exam. What are they like? Knock the alligator out and put it on some kind of a table and they do like a yearly physical?
I mean, I'm sure the alligators get checked. I mean, they're being responsible, but MJ, whoever thinks it's a good idea to throw change at an enclosed animal in the first place.
So the zoo put up a social media post and it said that all 10 of their alligators went through blood collection and radiographs as part of their routine when the veterinarians identified objects in the stomach of a 36-year-old American alligator that they have, and they had to perform a procedure. They removed about $7 in change from the...
Wow.
It's like, it's like the change you find in your couch.
Right.
All the money that falls between the cushions in your couch fell into the stomach of the alligator. Stop feeding the alligators coins.
You dumb Nebraska people.
They will eat anything. They will. I mean, you throw a TV set in there, the alligators will eat the TV set.
I don't know that they'll eat it. I mean, they'll play with it.
Oh, no, you'll find the TV in the alligator's stomach, no doubt. 6:51 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105 as the 7 o'clock hour is straight ahead. And don't forget, around 7:25, we start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. Happens every day. An hour and 20 minutes. Oh, the mailbox story. If you follow me on social media, if you follow me on Instagram and you saw my feed last night, you got a little early preview of the neighborhood mailbox story. 2 mailboxes. Neighbors, they kind of worked in tandem, put up some nice new mailboxes that match right next to each other. A delivery truck obliterated the mailboxes. I got a hold of the video.
Oh, man.
FedEx guy. All right, hang on. Well, that's coming up on the MJ Morning Show. If you want to get an early jump on it, it's on my Instagram right now. It's Certified MJ Radio. Back in moments. First, though, I really appreciate it when you patronize our sponsors here on the MJ Morning Show, like... MJ Morning Show here on Q105. MJ and part of the crew. MJ here with Fester and guest special host Chloe in the house today.
Yep.
Yeah, behind MJ Exposed. Let's not talk about that this morning.
Hey,
Yeah.
how'd you know it was me?
Cut the crap. All right. Friday morning, busy show today. We'll start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ in about 22 minutes, hour and 20 minutes every day around 7:25. We go an hour and 20 commercial free, no music, no commercials, right here on the MJ broadcast, happening in just a few minutes. So which Florida city is essentially breaking up with spring breakers?
The Villages.
Yeah.
Come on down
what?
to the Villages.
That would be funny if you turned like the Villages into like the Lake Havasu of Florida. And MTV did a whole spring break special in like some pond in the Villages.
I mean, there's enough kinky stuff and STDs going around the Villages to be a spring break destination. It's just a little off on the age.
Yeah, drop the average age for a week or so by 60 years.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dunedin.
Yeah, Dunedin's
No.
pissed spring breakers.
No, but listen, spring break here in the Tampa Bay area, it's a popular destination. St. Pete Beach,
Absolutely.
Clearwater Beach. You think of big spring break destinations. What do you think of?
First, you think of always Daytona.
Daytona Beach, yep.
And
Panama City
Panama
Beach.
City, a Destin area up there. The
Panama
Panhandle.
City, the Redneck Riviera up there. You know what? Speaking of the Redneck Riviera, maybe the Gandy can make a play for spring breakers.
Yeah, the Gandy Bridge, Gandy Bridge Beach,
Yeah,
and the Falls County side.
no, it's Miami Beach. Miami Beach is like trying to send the message. It seems like spring breakers don't come here. I mean, you can't prevent spring breakers from going to Miami, but it looks like Miami is doing whatever they can to send the message. Hey, maybe you ought to think of spring break somewhere else. They're making it a little difficult here.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
So it's being said that Miami Beach is breaking up with spring breakers, that they're cracking down because, you've had a series of issues. You've had some near riots in the last couple of years.
You have?
In Miami. Yeah. What do you mean you have?
I don't keep up with the spring break news anymore now that I don't go to it.
There have been numerous issues over the last decade and even in the last couple of years in Miami with spring breakers. And there's a new message that Miami is putting out. And essentially, they're saying that Miami, hey, we're breaking up with you, the spring breakers. They are messaging to any potential college student thinking about hitting Miami Beach for spring break. They are messaging that you will expect curfews, security searches, bag checks at beach access points, early beach entrance closures, DUI checkpoints, bumper-to-bumper traffic, road closures, increased arrests and drug possession charges, and arrests for any type of violence. So they're trying to send the word out, hey, you might want to reconsider maybe going somewhere else and not coming to Miami Beach for spring break. No such initiatives appear to be in the works here in the Tampa Bay area in, St. Pete or, Clearwater Beach. But officials had a press conference in Miami recently, and as they're expecting the flood of spring breakers,
It's going to be a ton of them, right?
March into early April, and it varies because you've got different break times for different colleges and universities around the country. The mayor of Miami said, hey, come here, enjoy, but don't come here looking for trouble. So here the mayor is saying, hey, come here and enjoy, but they're also putting out the message, essentially, we don't want your ass here.
Yeah, they don't want them. Don't come and enjoy. Go somewhere else. Go to Daytona. They want you.
Listen to this. And then, of course, you always seem to have during spring break some drunk kid that decides to climb from the 9th floor balcony up to the 10th floor balcony at some hotel or condo. Then they end up falling down to the pool deck below. Just it seems that every year you get that, crazy story.
That's when you know it's a party.
But listen to this. Here's a new update. Miami Beach is now making last-minute decisions to close parking lots and garages. It's almost like, at like public spaces where they put those spikes so you can't sit down or like to prevent skateboarders.
They do it to prevent people from sleeping.
Sleeping.
I've seen it for like birds. They don't want birds on the ledges.
Well, like in New York, buildings will put those little metal spikes up. So, the birds don't land and just, poop all over the place. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You go to some big cities and you look at like the outside of buildings or public spaces where they might have a, nice decorative stonework or marble or granite or whatever. And a lot of times they'll put up those little metal spike strips. So, a lot of times it's to prevent sleeping, but I think it's more to prevent the skateboarders from doing their tricks and, riding their boards down the edge of certain things. But it seems that that's what Miami is doing.
They're going to spike the sand on the beaches.
No, but it's like they're spiking the whole time. They're warning you. It's like, hey, don't come here. We're going to make your life miserable during spring break.
And they're saying everything. I mean, that list that you said, they're saying anything to deter people from coming.
Chloe, you just graduated.
Mm-hmm.
You just graduated from the University of New Hampshire in December. Congratulations.
Thank you.
By the way, your picture of you holding your diploma.
Oh, here we go.
Do you realize it's got like 2,300 likes?
Do you realize how many people you forced to like it? I was at the doctor the other day.
Yeah.
I thought the doctor, shout out Jennifer, she told me that she liked it after hearing you beg people to like it.
Did you hear him, Chloe? Did you hear him?
I did.
Do the like track?
And it was like a live, like you wouldn't move past the segment without getting the likes that you wanted.
I'm proud of your accomplishments. You just graduated college in 3.5 years with a triple major. You've got some people on the 5 and 6 year plan, and they've got one stinking major, and you do college in 3.5 years with an English, history, and international affairs degree. 3 separate full majors in 3.5 years. I'm proud of you.
Big whoop.
And you
and their fathers can't even get them 100 likes on Instagram.
And your diploma came, a week or 10 days ago, and I just thought it was a special moment. I took a picture of Chloe in the house. And Chloe's holding the diploma. And if I click, it's still a pinned item. It's still like the number one item on Certified MJ Radio on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. And if I click on it, 2,279 likes. That might be the most liked post ever on my...
The people love me.
On my IG.
I mean, you really are the best part of his Instagram.
Yeah, and hacker Chloe, who gets into my phone from time to time and hacks something. But the question I had for you, with you just graduating college, you never really did the whole spring break destination thing where you and a bunch of your friends from college, went to St. Pete Beach, or you went to Panama City or Cancun, or what are some of the places of late where they warn spring breakers that you might get kidnapped and murdered?
Yeah, Cancun is it.
Is that?
I think there was like 2 heads found on the beach last week.
What? But they weren't spring breakers. They were probably Sinaloa drug cartel people or something.
Nonetheless, I don't want to go to Cancun knowing that it's not a rock on the beach.
But serious, Chloe, you never really did the whole spring break thing where, you went and just got boozed up for a whole week.
No, unfortunately not.
Why, I'm being serious here. Why did you never do spring break?
I genuinely think that I would rather spend time with you guys and honestly at home than, be more away from, you guys.
And several spring breaks, we went to like Little Cayman to go scuba diving, etc.
It's just that I'm at school all the time and doing school all the time. And, when I have a break, I just want to be at home and relaxed, with you guys and the dogs.
But playing university soccer, did that also affect the spring break at all, or not really?
I actually don't think so, because it's out of season.
Yeah, all right. Oh, that's true.
USnews.com, their travel section ranks spring break destinations. Number 1, Cancun. Number 2, Miami Beach.
Yeah, well, they're trying to make that number like 98, because Miami Beach is doing everything now to deter people. Listen to this. The Miami Beach City Commission voted Wednesday to prevent visitors from using public parking garages and lots in South Beach during 2 weekends in March, a major new initiative on the eve of spring break that goes farther than any measure the city had approved in the last month. You know, it's almost like, you know what it is? It's almost like Miami Beach is like spraying fart spray to keep all the spring breakers away.
Yes.
It's what it's like.
So get this, Grand Canyon University, which I'm not even sure if it's a real school or not, ranks
Is that like Phoenix University or University of Phoenix?
I don't know. I've never heard of it. But they ranked U.S. cities for spring break. Number 1, St. Petersburg.
Yeah, look at that. Number 1, Grand Canyon University. Yeah. That's where I go for all my spring break ratings. All right, so yeah, spring break is almost here, and Miami is essentially saying, keep your butt away from here. We don't want you. All right, 7:13 at the MJ Morning Show. Heads up. An hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ is next. I got to tell the story, and there's a lot more to the story. This is crazy. So I noticed in the last couple of days that people in my neighborhood who had just put up new mailboxes, and I noticed it, that their mailboxes were wrecked. I mean, mowed over, destroyed. And then I got the rest of the story. A FedEx driver on his first day on the job. And I got the video. I got the surveillance video from the neighbors. All right, hang on. We'll get into that and a whole lot more next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Stand by. I know that many of you listening right now are going to be car shopping. Hey, maybe... AT&T wireless customer, I guess things are already better because your phone is working. Hopefully this morning. Yeah, some mystery and curiosity. You've got the conspiratorialists that are trying to come up with all kinds of conspiracy angles on the AT&T cell phones going out yesterday morning. And for a chunk of the day, service should be back to normal, but there's an interesting little array of speculations, and I think it's as simple as what I suggested yesterday. It's probably just an overnight software update that went bad. But we'll get into all that coming up in just a bit. Welcome back, MJ Morning Show on Q105, 726, as we start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ right now. Let me give you a little breadcrumb here. Let me just drop a little teaser. I don't know if anyone has ever given away $1 million on morning radio. But folks, stand by. Will the MJ Morning Show be giving away $1 million? Hang on. I got a feeling the details are coming next week. And your chance to win $1 million from the MJ Morning Show here on Q105.
Oh.
Yep. Fester has no idea what I'm talking about. Fester's got the little mystified look on his face.
But you have a feeling next week we'll have more information?
Yeah. Well, since I kind of dictate that and I drive the bus, yes, I've got a feeling. Yeah. Got a feeling that next week I'm going to make it a little more clear how you can grab $1 million from the MJ Morning Show. Details on the way next week, right here on 104.7 FM and the MJ Morning Show. The FedEx story in just a matter of moments. Fester's here today with me. MJ, Chloe is joining us. Roxanne is out on, I don't know. I think she's got to help her 4-year-old's class make paper mache this morning or something.
It takes all day.
Yeah,
so.
whatever. I don't know. And then Froggy, he'll be back Monday as far as I know. Froggy's been at some shelving and hardware convention in Orlando all week. Because, this is like a side ride for him. I mean, this is like a little appetizer. His real gig is, what's paying the bills over at the Froggy house is the shelves he's selling to like True Value hardware stores. And Ace is the place with the friendly hardware folks.
Ace is the place. Yeah. I love a good Ace.
All right, 728 at the MJ Morning Show. The FedEx story in just a matter of seconds here. While a lot of folks are going to school this morning, I just wanted to bring something up. So if you're a parent and you're upset with a teacher, who knows? Maybe there's a personality conflict between your kid and a teacher. Maybe there was a bad grade given. Whatever the issue might be, for the most part, kids have good teachers. But listen, not every teacher is great.
Yeah.
Not every morning show host in America is great.
Yeah.
Not every dentist or doctor is great. I mean, you got, mostly people do a great job at what they do, but, some people, frankly, suck, all right? But this is not the way to resolve a problem. If you have a problem with your kid's teacher, you don't want to sneak into the school, pose as a student, and then bust your kid's teacher in the face and break her nose.
No.
Wow. Yes, Chloe, you heard me right.
Where did this happen?
Syracuse. Up in Syracuse, New York. Would have been funny if it was like Dunedin or something. But a Syracuse mother burst into her daughter's classroom and not once, but repeatedly was just punching the teacher in the face, busting her nose.
So the mother posed as a student?
Yeah.
So this obviously wasn't like third grade or something.
All right, well, here's the deal. Syracuse mom snuck into the school, repeatedly punched her daughter's teacher in the face, breaking several bones in her face, including her nose, as 25 horrified kids looked on at the attack. Listen to this. The Onondaga District Attorney Bill Fitzpatrick said at a press conference this week, these are injuries you don't even see in a boxing match.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Linzina Sutton, 31, arrived at Lincoln Middle School last Friday with her mother, Roxanne Tompkins.
Those crazy Roxannes, man.
I'll tell you right now. Both women attempted to make their way past security. So, Linzina Sutton, 31, arrived at this middle school with her mother, Roxanne Thompson. Both women tried to get past security. The day prior, Sutton's daughter told her teacher, "My mom will handle this," after she was disciplined for allegedly lying about her whereabouts during the school day. So I guess the kid disappeared, was not at school, whatever. I don't have all the details on that. But there was some kind of a verbal disagreement, an altercation between the student and the teacher as far as what the whereabouts of the student were. The teacher filed a complaint with school administrators later that day about, hey, I got a student saying that my mom's going to, handle some situation. And Tompkins was, I guess, Roxanne Tompkins, she was prevented from entering the school the next morning.
Sure.
But Sutton, who is 4'10", pulled a hoodie over her head and just blended in with other kids and just walked into the school. So you got the daughter, 31, along with like the grandmother of the kid, the mother of the student's mother. So she sneaks in at 4'10", just walks in, pretends she's a student, height-wise kind of blended right in, headed to her daughter's classroom, and just started punching the teacher in the face as 25 traumatized little middle school students looked on. As she's just going, boom, 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 boom. Busted several bones in the teacher's face, including her nose was busted.
4'10", that's the magic height. You know what height that is, MJ?
4'10"?
4'10".
I don't know.
4'10" is the biggest midget.
What?
Dwarfism tops out at 4 foot.
At 4'10"?
Yes.
Oh.
So this teacher
All right.
got beaten up by a giant midget. Because that's as big. 4'11", you don't have dwarfism anymore.
The victim was described as a dedicated veteran educator. On top of the several broken bones in her face, also received a concussion. She's going to have long-term issues, according to the school administrator.
Does she fail the kid? Does she give the kid like an F?
No, I don't. We don't know what the altercation was over. The student was missing and was unable to provide details as to where she was.
Forget all that.
I don't know whether it was an unexcused absence or disappeared during class time.
Moving forward, knowing that your mom kicked my ass in class, you're failing.
Yeah.
This is going on your permanent middle school record, kid.
So the mother who bashed the teacher was able to leave school after the beating, but later was arrested and charged with burglary and assault.
Yeah, they couldn't find her. She's a big midget. She blended in with all the other middle schoolers.
So she's going to prison, man. I cannot imagine that mommy is not going to go to some New York State prison lockup.
She's so short, they'll send her to juvie.
Yeah, apparently she was angry with the school because Sutton's daughter was the victim of some bullying, and who knows. You don't go to... This is just a little heads up and a warning. If you have a problem with your kid's teacher, you don't sneak into school and then, go all Rocky Balboa on her face and bust her face in numerous places, give her a concussion, and bust her nose up. That's not what you do. So a little public service announcement from the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. All right, on to the FedEx story. And if you are an MJ Morning Show, MJ Instagram follower, again, my Instagram, and the picture and the video is up. I not only put the still shot up first, I am so dedicated to bringing you quality content that I even contacted this person in the neighborhood who I know. And I said, any chance you've got video of this? And they said, as a matter of fact, yes.
I'm glad you asked.
Let me tell you what happened. Earlier this week, I'm walking the dogs. I'm doing my nightly walk. I'm walking the dogs, and I'm in a cul-de-sac on a street in my neighborhood. It's, part of my 2-mile nightly walk. This is my weekday schedule. So 2 miles weekdays, and then I do 5 miles on the weekends. So I'm in the cul-de-sac in my neighborhood, and this house and the neighbor's house, they used to have a shared masonry mailbox. And I never understood that. These are the worst. When you do like the masonry mailbox, I mean, you're kind of locked in. You know what I'm talking about? You have like
it's a commitment.
Yeah, it is. It's a mailbox commitment.
Yes.
Fester, very well put.
Yes.
When you have the masonry mailbox and you have like some kind of a horseshoe shape, like it's made out of concrete or block and it's coated with stucco, and you jam your mailbox like inside and it's built in. If the mailbox gets bent, if the door gets snapped off, if it breaks,
that's it.
I mean, your mailbox is like encased in like a concrete tomb. I don't understand those things.
It's like a mail crypt.
Anyway, so the one that these neighbors shared in my neighborhood, it was cracking. It was like a little lopsided. It was just, it had seen better days. So they just demolished the whole thing and they put up these nice new heavy metal mailboxes. I'm not talking about the cheap ass, white, like aluminum mailbox you get at Home Depot for, $23.95. And it's, it's the thickness of like a tinfoil roast beef wrapper at Arby's.
I mean,
it's.
I mean, I'm looking at this mailbox. They had to bury the post.
Yeah, these are heavy, nice, like metal mailboxes. They're, decorative. It's like a decorative black metal with a nice heavy post sunk in concrete. And it's a nice, heavy, expensive mailbox. So I noticed that these folks had new mailboxes because I'd done my walk. I'm like, oh, look at that. They got rid of the junky old masonry concrete, the shared mailbox between the two houses. And they put in like matching Bobsy twins, these nice new mailboxes. And I noticed it. And then a couple of days later, I'm on the same walk. I'm like, what the hell? So this week, I'm walking by. I'm like, what the hell happened? The mailboxes are like bashed to hell. One is all like cockeyed and it's all tilting off, all jacked out of whack.
That's the lucky one.
Right, that's the lucky one. Then the one to the left, it's snapped off like a twig. And it's lying on the ground. I'm like, what the hell happened? These nice new mailboxes. I mean, these mailboxes were, probably $500, $600 a piece. Then installation. They probably had a couple of grand into this deal. It's two neighbors, and the mailboxes are right next to each other on the property line. They coordinated, and now the mailboxes are destroyed. I'm like, what the hell? So I know this guy. Guy, lives near me. We share a mutual friend. So I happen to have his cell number. I dropped him a text. And I said, hey, what the hell happened to your mailboxes? And then he texts me back. FedEx driver plowed into him.
Oh, my goodness.
But wait, there's more to the story. So if you check my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio, that's Certified MJ Radio, the first thing I posted was just a picture of the mailboxes, all just bashed up. I mean, completely mangled, obliterated. And I'm like, what the hell happened? So I originally post just the mailboxes. It's the third item. Chloe is pinned with her diploma. The second item is the video. I'll get to that in a second. The third one is just the mailboxes, all mangled up good. And I said, hey, any chance you have video of the FedEx guy running into your mailboxes? And he said, yep. And then I find out it was a hit and run. The FedEx guy plowed into the mailboxes, then backed up and drove away. Turns out the FedEx guy apparently gets back to, and this is FedEx ground. You got two FedExes. You got FedEx, which the Express. You got FedEx, the Express folks. They do the overnight packages and, some of the 2-day stuff, I guess. And then you've got FedEx Ground. And FedEx Ground is the ground packages.
Oh, that's why it's called ground?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, you get a big bag of dog food from Chewy. You know, that's FedEx ground. Yeah. So they're the regular package is ground, and it's different. You know, a lot of times ground is operated by a contract operator.
Okay.
It's another company that's operating as FedEx ground. It's a contracted service.
But this guy's a FedEx employee?
No, this guy apparently worked for the contractor. This is FedEx ground. And it's very fitting because he knocked the freaking mailboxes out of the ground. So I get a hold of this guy in my neighborhood, and I'm like, hey, do you have video? And he said, yeah, I do. I went over last night. They were waiting for their dinner to be delivered, and they said, yeah, come on over right now. We're just waiting for our food to be delivered. So I roll over to the house, and he puts up the security system on the big TV in the living room, and he's going through, here's the date, and he knew the time, and I just took my cell phone, I took my camera, and I rolled video. I'm just holding, and it looks pretty damn good.
It does.
I'm just holding my camera. I'm standing on something because it was up on the mantle, the TV. I'm just standing on like a little
So you're on his couch?
No.
Are you staying on his coffee table?
They had a bench. And he said I could stand on the bench so I can get.
How short are these people if they have a bench to watch TV?
No, the TV is above the fireplace mantle.
Okay. All right, I apologize.
So instead of shooting up, I got on the bench so I could shoot straight on. The video is on my Instagram right now. Hey, Andrew, do me a favor. For those that don't go to IG, take the link and put it on our website as well. So Andrew, our producer, he'll take my Instagram link. If you're not on IG, he'll put it up on mjmorningshow.com in a few minutes. It'll be on mjmorningshow.com, and it'll be in the As Heard on the MJ Morning Show. You can just click on the link. But if you're on Instagram, go to Certified MJ Radio, and first you'll see the still shot of the mailboxes all mangled, and then the video that I got last night, and you can just see the FedEx guy, who, by the way, was driving not a marked FedEx truck. He was driving a Penske rental. Because you'll see that.
Yeah,
You'll
sure.
see UPS sometimes during the holiday season, they'll rent trucks because they've got so much volume. But the FedEx contractor, obviously, if they've got a lot of packages and they don't have enough trucks, they'll go ahead and they'll rent some of those Penske delivery step vans. And that's what this was. But you can see the guy's got a FedEx uniform on. It's FedEx ground. And what happened, apparently, the guy's in the cul-de-sac delivering a package to the house next door, not the one where they share the mailbox, the other side, and he's in the cul-de-sac, and he didn't put the truck in park, and he's in the back of the truck, because as the truck rolls forward and plows over these brand new mailboxes, you could see him, and it's totally clear on the video on my Instagram. You could see the FedEx driver racing from the back of the van, trying to jump quickly into the driver's seat to stop the van. And instead, he's like a second too late, and the van just plows into the mailboxes. One of the mailboxes just goes right into the grill of the truck. So here's what happened. The FedEx driver then flees the scene, leaves.
Did he not think there was some video rolling?
Listen.
He was probably really scared.
It doesn't matter, Chloe. You've got to stop.
I feel bad. It's his first day.
Yeah, and that's true. So we found out, my neighbor in the neighborhood told me that he found out that it was the driver's first day delivering.
So he probably didn't know I know to put things in park.
Wait, here's the way you're saying it's you're on the job first day at FedEx, and he probably didn't know to put the truck in park.
He's probably never driven a truck like this.
Yeah,
Probably a little nervous.
I'm guessing there's a little bit of training.
First couple of hours on the job, he forgot to put it in park.
Yeah. If you remember and you put your own personal car in park, you put the FedEx truck in park. So this guy is in the back of the vehicle, and suddenly he feels it rolling forward. He races to the front, too late, because BAM! Just crashes into the mailboxes, and then the dude leaves. He flees the scene. I wonder if anyone saw this. Oh, no. Yeah, no one saw this. The cameras are everywhere. So the neighbor gets home that night. The mailboxes are destroyed. He immediately goes to his surveillance footage and sees the guy running into it. And they could see that it was a Penske truck, but they could see it was the FedEx uniform. So Here's what happened. The FedEx driver did go back to the scene of the crime because here's what happened. He flees the scene after ramming the truck into the mailboxes, gets back to the garage or gets back to the facility where they load up all the FedEx ground boxes, and his boss sees the truck. The whole front of the truck is bashed in.
Hey, Jim, what happened to the truck?
The whole grill is bashed in on the truck. And that's when the driver apparently said, yeah, I had a little problem. You know, I smashed into mailboxes in this Southampton neighborhood. And then the boss apparently said, well, did you give them information? Did you stop? And he said, no. The boss made him then drive back to the scene of the crime and then tell the neighbors whose mailboxes that he crashed into what exactly happened. So FedEx apparently is going to make good. FedEx is going to pay for all the damage, get new mailboxes, pay for the installation, as they should.
Yeah, right.
Now, I don't know the final disposition of the driver. I don't know whether he was fired, whether he
hope not.
Whether he kept his job. But he did the wrong thing. You wreck the mailboxes, you immediately stop and you ring the doorbells of those houses to say, hey, I made a big boo-boo. I just crashed my truck into your mailbox. You know what we ought to do? We ought to take some phone calls here. Mm-hmm. What's the worst thing that you did on the first day of a new job?
Oh, that's a good question.
First day, that's pretty
first
limiting.
day or first week. All right. Or a new job. Let me broaden it just a little bit. What's the worst thing you did at a new job? Did you break something? Did you cause like tens of thousands in damage? What is like something really bad that you did like first day, first week, new on a job? What did you really F up?
I thought of one.
What something you did?
My wife.
Oh, hold on that thought.
Oh my God.
Let me give out the number. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. What's the worst thing you did at a new job? Did you really just screw something up? Or maybe you've got a story that you didn't do it, but maybe you witnessed somebody do something really messed up.
Oh.
Hey, Mr. George, how much you pay for the new guy, Mr. George?
Too much.
Mr. George, $20, that's too much, Mr. George.
It's no good.
Remember, we were the first radio show in the country to get that guy on, that the whole Mr. George guy, a year ago, whatever it was. Let's go to phones on this. Worst first day, first week, new on the job story. What happened? 800-990-1047. That gets you on. 800-990-1047. While Andrew's screening, what happened with your wife?
All right. This is several years ago now, but she got a job at a bank. She used to work at a bank. She thought she wanted to do something new, so she got a job at a bank. Whatever the bank it was, it's not around anymore. And the first day they had some, like a test or some reading material or some education. So they put her in an office.
So job training.
Exactly. Exactly what you'd expect on the first day of a job. They put her in an office, one of those glass door offices at a bank where you meet with the banking advisor. And she's in there by herself and she's doing whatever task they had for her.
Right.
And she's kind of just, shaking her knee. Just shaking her knee.
Okay.
Just sitting there behind the desk and wiggling her knee back and forth.
Okay.
Right on the buzzer that alerts police for a bank robbery.
Oh my gosh.
I think you've told this story before.
So she's just sitting there.
She tripped the silent alarm at the bank.
So nobody else at the bank knew this was going on because it's silent. And cop cars just surround the bank.
Come on, what bank was it? What do you mean the bank's
No, it wasn't like Region. It was AmSouth.
So AmSouth then became something else?
I think it's Bank of America now.
Who knows? All the bank consolidation. I can't keep track.
I think it was AmSouth Bank at the time. I mean, this was several years ago.
Right.
And the silent alarm guy tripped, and they couldn't figure out how they did it. And eventually, the branch manager peeks into the room and he goes, excuse me, new girl, did you trip the silent alarm? And she's like, no. And then she looks under the desk, and there it was.
All pushed in or something?
Yep.
7:50 at the MJ Morning Show. Phones are loaded on this. Amy in Clearwater, you just heard the FedEx driver smashing mailboxes in my neighborhood and then driving off. Amy, do you have a story to tell us? Amy Clearwater, go ahead.
I do. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
How are you?
We are-
Welcome, please.
Hi.
I just got to work, and I work for the post office. I called you guys last week, too. Listen.
Yep.
So, my, third week at the post office. I've been 8 years now, so
Right.
it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was delivering down a side street, and I got in front of a couple of big garbage cans. I'm like, okay, I need to do a 3-point turn. So I did my 3-point turn that they teach you, and I went a little bit too far forward, and I busted a freaking water main in front of a preschool.
In front of a what? In front of a preschool?
Yeah, there was the little, the little water mains that are above maybe a foot above the ground. And I busted that, and it was a freaking geyser, MJ.
Oh my gosh.
It scared the crap out of me.
How long before they were able to turn the water off?
It took some time. And,
Did you remain at the scene, or did you flee like the FedEx ground guy?
No, I was so scared I was going to lose my job. I stayed there. And when the postmaster came out and my supervisor came out, and I was just bawling like a baby because I thought I was going to lose my job.
Well, it's a government job. You could have murdered the supervisor. You still have your job.
Probably got a promotion.
I know. But the lady at the preschool, I ran in the preschool, and I'm like, I really need some help.
Right.
So I'm not sure if you have control over this. And she came out and was like, oh, wow, that's kind of bad. I'm like, you think? So she took a watering jug,
right?
And she got water and started watering her plants. She's
might as well use the water. Thank you, Amy. Have a great weekend. Hey, if you didn't see the video, check out the picture of the smash mailboxes of the FedEx guy in my neighborhood mowing over these brand new mailboxes, and then you'll see the first is the still image, and then last night I posted the actual surveillance video from the neighbors' cameras, and you can see the FedEx guy just blow right over the mailbox, just bashing him to bits.
All right, FedEx employees are calling in now.
Yeah, I see that. We're going to go to a FedEx worker next. So the video and the picture and video are on my Instagram right now, Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. And while you're there, give me a follow. If you don't, Anonymous is in Pasco, who apparently is a FedEx worker. Hey, Anonymous, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Listen, I've been working for them for 20 years, and I'm not defending the guy, but these trucks are pretty shitty out there because...
Yeah, do me a favor. You can't, I realize the trucks are, you say, well, it should be crappy.
Yeah, crappy trucks.
Yeah,
All right.
I had to dump the S-bomb. We can't use that on the air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, when you throw these things in gear, sometimes it feels like it's in neutral, but it's not, because it happened to me. So these things got 3D cameras all over. As soon as you...
Now, he was driving a Penske rental or a lease truck. So, I guess when volume is heavy, sometimes you see FedEx driving the rental trucks versus the actual branded FedEx ground trucks. So what puts a guy into a Penske step van?
Either the truck is broken down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because our volume is very low now. We're not getting the volume like we used to do because Amazon took over.
Oh, that's right. Amazon is doing their own deliveries, yeah.
So, yeah, we don't have that much volume now at all. So they're actually laying off people now because of these freights that are going around.
Gotcha. So you're saying maybe it wasn't his fault. But this is like a new truck. You're saying that even these new vans have trouble going into park?
Yeah, going into park, yeah.
Really? All right, buddy. Hey, thanks, Anonymous. I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, no problem.
All right, here's another FedEx worker. Tony's in Tampa. Tony, hi. You're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hey, MJ.
Hey.
Hey, I worked there for 30 years, just real brief. The pressure to go speed, and you're making good money, good benefits, blah blah blah.
Not like the UPS new contract, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's true.
Yep.
But back in '83 to 13, I worked. But the benefits and everything, and people, there's.
And also, you got to delineate between FedEx Ground, which is like a subcontractor for FedEx, and then FedEx Express. Those typically are FedEx employees, correct?
Right, and I was an express, so it was all about stops per hour. Get, go. Safety first. Well, yeah, okay, but get the stops off. So it was just a pressure, and the guy probably freaked, but you can't lose. If we did that, everything's preventable. You'd lose your job, and you're talking good benefits, good.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to this guy. I don't have the final disposition here, but the driver plowed into the mailboxes, left the scene.
Right.
The boss saw the damage to the truck when he got back to the yard and made the driver go back to say, hey, I'm the FedEx guy that just destroyed your mailboxes. So what do you think happened? Driver, first day on the job, apparently. What do you think happened to the guy?
Oh, I think he got terminated.
No.
They don't. I hate to say it, but you got everything's preventable. So he probably was trying to get out of his seat at the same time he was putting in park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it is. Some people handle it better than others, the intimidation, but it's all about speed and getting it done. But I just wanted to say that. But I'm tired and I'm retired, so I'm out of there.
Gotcha, Tony. Thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate you listening. So with the FedEx mailbox story in my neighborhood, I'm asking the question, what did you mess up on the first day on your job or, a new job that you had? What did you really botch up? Or maybe you witnessed somebody do something really bad new on the job. Brian is in Newport Richey. Hey, Brian, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Morning, Brian. Doing well.
Okay, good. So, I got a little story. It was my second day on the job, and I was doing landscaping at the subdivision, and they had me get this front-end loader and go out and get dirt to build these berms up.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay. So I went back, and I'm running this front-end loader, and I'm in the pile of dirt, and I'm tugging on something. I thought it was a root from the tree.
Right.
And I'm pulling on it. Next thing I know, I pull up all the wires, the electrical to the subdivision. Shut the whole power down to the subdivision. I'm like, oh, crap.
Oh, my God. You're lucky you didn't get how many amp service would that have been? You're lucky you didn't get electrocuted.
Oh, I know. I think I was grounded on the dozer or whatever I was running, that big front-end loader.
Did anyone, train you on this front-end loader, or they just threw you on it?
They just threw me on it.
They don't train you out there, no.
Were there any signs, those signs, call 511 before you dig?
Yeah, wires buried.
No, there was nothing like that. This was back, years ago.
Right.
That's probably why they put those signs up after that.
Dude, you're lucky you're alive, man.
Yeah.
You hit a high voltage buried power vault, and you're here to call and tell us about it?
Yeah, it was amazing. I couldn't believe it. Everybody was pissed at me.
But hey, thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Rick is in Tampa. Rick, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, how you doing, MJ?
Doing well. What's your story?
So I work for a local freight brokerage, and if you know anything about freight brokers, they're pretty brash. They're they do whatever they want, drink beer on Fridays sometimes at work. So we got these. It's like my second or third week. I'm starting to bond with the guys. Everyone's pretty cool. And there's some emails going back and forth, and they're all joking around. So out of nowhere, I just hit reply all and don't check to see who all is in the freaking email. And all I type is titty sprinkles with D's, not with C's. Titty sprinkles.
Okay, we heard you the first time. Thank you.
I got it. All right.
All right, thank you. All right. How'd that job work out for you?
How long did you work there?
I worked there through the promotional period, like 3 months. I didn't get enough steady work to stay on the job, but it was a good job.
Gotcha. Thank you, Rick. Let me grab Eric in Plant City. Eric, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Yeah, MJ. I went out to Texas for a job and as a crude oil hauler, and they gave me training for about 3 days, and then they let me go by myself, and I didn't really do a good job, so I ended up spilling about 50 gallons of oil on the floor at a facility.
That's a pretty big cleanup.
Yeah, 50 gallons. It's a big drum. That's kind of a mess. Eric, thanks for the call. All right, 2 more here, and I'm going to move on. Skippy in Clearwater. Skippy, you're on the MJ. Is Skippy your real name, or is that just a fake radio call-in name?
That's an anonymous.
Okay, Skippy. All right,
Skippy.
go ahead.
It's an embarrassing story.
What happened?
First of all, the FedEx driver was fine. The world is so hard up for drivers right now. He'll just get something in his file and he'll be fine. But remember the drive-through milk stores called farm stores?
Oh yeah. We had one on Henderson, Manhattan actually. So
Manhattan.
Actually, there was one. There was one on Henderson, closer to Dale Mabry. Then when Henderson turns into Manhattan, now it's the Dairy Joy bought the old one. Mm-hmm. But do you still have one on Beta Bay near MacDill? Yeah, the old farm stores, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we did our deliveries at night. So I was done making my delivery and went down the back alley of this plaza. Now, this is a tractor trailer. And there was a bunch of low wires that weren't supposed to be low.
Yep.
And I started taking down these wires.
Oh my gosh.
Transformers blowing everywhere. I can see people's power going out in their house.
Skippy, that's not your
driving like I didn't know anything.
Skippy, that's not your fault.
I know. They're supposed to be 14 feet high.
Hang on. Bam! Oh, there's another one. Oh, my God. The power's going out. Oh! It's just taking them out.
Those transformers are blinding when they go off.
Oh, yeah. Listen, you've seen the sparks. They'll light up the sky.
Yeah.
You know, when you've got bad weather, I mean, we've all, I think, seen and witnessed that you've heard the explosion, the boom of a power transformer go. Or what was that deal? Was it over Christmas time where you had the crazy arcs and sparks that were rolling through some of the power lines locally?
Wasn't it? It was in St. Petersburg during like a bad rain event.
He was here in St. Pete, and it made like national news as like fire and sparks were like flying down the power lines. Anyway, hey, thanks for the call. All right, last one, Ed. Let's go to Ed in Riverview. Ed, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
We are well, Ed. Go ahead.
This is not a great story. It was like I was like 16. It was the first job I ever had. I needed it really bad. I convinced a general contractor to hire me as a carpenter assistant or something.
Right.
So he told me to go caulk some windows on this new construction job. And I started trying to hook up the gun and this and that, and I acted like I knew what I was doing, but I knew I did not.
Right.
So I tried to put it in the gun, and I can't get it to work. I put it down on the ground, and I try to step on it. And, I know you're supposed to poke a hole. I didn't know that. Pow! It hit me right in the eye.
Oh, my God.
So
you got a big caulk in the eye.
Like half a dozen guys are off the job trying to, tend to my eye. It was like they were going to call an ambulance, this, that, water. After about an hour or so of that, they said, listen, we appreciate your attempt. You got to go home now.
Yeah. Nothing like some 30-year caulk in your eye. Is that the last time you had some caulk in your eye?
It got in my eye, but I got it all out. It was, it was one of those embarrassing things, and I ended up for the rest of my life doing sales and finance.
There you go, Ed. Thanks, Ed. Have a good weekend, buddy.
You too. Thank you.
I'm just thinking of that caulk bit on Saturday Night Live years ago. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember the caulk bit?
Yes. So, my old man.
That's it. Enough calls on that, Andrew. I got to move on.
My dad was probably late teen. He got a job at like a delivery company.
Right.
And one of the trucks were all stick shift back then, and he was just loading the trucks at that time. Second day on the job, first day on the job, one of the trucks needed a jump. So they start one truck, and they jump the other truck. And they tell my dad to get into the original truck and back it up. He's never driven a stick shift before. So the mechanic or the guy who jumps is in between the two trucks.
Right.
My old man puts his foot on the clutch and puts it in first, and the two trucks smash. And he broke the legs of the guy.
Are you kidding me? It's like a mafia move or something. Holy crap.
I know. It's awful. I hate to end on such a sad note. The guy broke both his knees.
Kneecap the guy.
My dad gets out of the car. The other guy's backing up. Never went back to that job.
Wow.
Never went back.
My brother says he can take a call now.
What did we try to call him for yesterday?
There's a follow-up on the nipple surgery.
Ooh, almond nipples.
Yeah, almond nipples. Yeah. Chloe, did you hear this yesterday?
I read about it.
What,
8:05.
I'm not really attracted to those, I don't think.
Were you like big sundial nipples? Is that what you like?
I don't know, the normal ones.
I'm trying to call him. He said he's available to take the call. Maybe he's not available to take the call.
So I thought about this later in the day because I had a bag of dark chocolate covered roasted almonds from that Diamond Nut Company.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, This is what David Beckham's nipples look like.
Yeah, hang on.
Ate 'em all.
Let me
Have
text
you ever
them back.
had the wasabi flavored ones?
I've had the wasabi flavored nuts. I've had the blueberry flavored nuts. I mean, listen. I've had a lot of nuts.
I'm trying to call my brother because yesterday, later in the show, we had a story about the latest trend is men are trying to get smaller almond-shaped nipples like David Beckham. So I wanted to call my brother yesterday. I just tried to call him again now. He said he was available. He didn't pick up yesterday, and he just said, yeah, I can call him. Try again, he says. Okay, let me try him again. Here we go. Now he's I might have set the call on my cell phone. 1-954-558. All right. Trying him again. If not, I'll just buzz him on my cell phone. Just hold it up to the microphone. That's weird. Yeah, why is he not seeing a call? That's strange. I'm just going to call him on my cell phone.
Give him a buzz.
Yeah.
Your phone speaking into the microphone's better than the broadcast phone.
And I'm just going to call him on. Oh, now he's calling me. Hey, can you hear me, Drew?
I can.
Yeah. Is your phone not ringing when I called from the studio line?
I don't hear it.
That's strange. All right, hey, so we tried to call you yesterday because I saw a story that men are paying plastic surgeons $5,000 to get almond-shaped nipples like David Beckham, and it's a growing trend. Do you as a plastic surgeon, as a cosmetic surgeon, actually your formal training is in craniofacial, but you're now doing more cosmetic work. Have you ever heard of this? Men wanting almond-shaped smaller nipples like David Beckham?
Yeah, I mean, for Valentine's Day, I was doing heart-shaped nipples.
Oh, get out of here. No, is this real? This was a story in the New York Post earlier this week. Is this really a story?
It's ridiculous.
Listen to this. New York City surgeons are seeing a surge in men seeking to have their nipples reduced in size, and David Beckham is their aesthetic inspiration. The soccer superstar's small, symmetrical, almond-shaped nips have men forking out $5,000 for a procedure. People want David Beckham nipples, said Dr. Mark Everett, a plastic surgeon on Manhattan's Upper East Side.
It's a little concerning that men are looking at David Beckham's nipples.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, Drew, once you look at his nipples, you really can't stop seeing them.
Now,
that may be in your world.
No, listen, I know that you do like breast reductions for not only women, but you've done the what is it called? What is the plastic?
Gynecomastia.
Yeah, there we go. So guys that have gynecomastia or man boobs, I know you've done that. Have you had any patients that wanted their male nipples to look different?
Only if they're really large. Like a lot of gynecomastia patients have large areolas, and so when we do a gynecomastia surgery to reduce the male breast size, because some of them look like women's breasts, then a lot of times we reduce the areola at the same time.
Well, I mean, because yeah, I mean, like with a
they
guy,
look
you don't want an areola. A guy doesn't want an areola like something off a plate at IHOP, like Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity, you know?
I guess it depends on the guy.
Yeah, really.
Who knows?
Some would say if they're paying, I'm playing.
All right, Drew, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for letting us call you.
Hi, Uncle Drew.
Overall, absurd.
Oh, Chloe's here. Say hi to Chloe.
Hi, Uncle Drew.
Chloe's in the studio.
Yeah. Yep.
They took back her graduation certificate.
Yeah,
she had to resort to a career in broadcasting now.
I see. Yeah, hey, what a demotion.
Hey, what did Mom say about me? You're the doctor, and what did Mom once describe me as?
A rapscallion.
Well, close. Mom once someone told me this, that my mom was like bragging about Drew, and he's a doctor. He's got his medical degree. He went to medical school, and then apparently she called me the bum in the family. That I'm. Do you know that story that Mom called me the bum?
know if I remember. That was pretty accurate, though.
I mean, she's not wrong.
I mean, you know.
All right, buddy. I got to roll. Have a good weekend.
All right. Adios.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So there's my brother. He's done some serious plastic surgeries. And, he started Inspire Cosmetic Surgery, and they've got locations on the East Coast. I think they're up to like 8 or 9, maybe more locations.
Wow.
They've got a location in Fort Myers. It's Inspire Cosmetic Surgery. So, and listen, he would know. So is that just a juiced up, jacked up story from the New York Post about men, all the rage, all the craze is to get almond-shaped nipples like David Beckham? So sounds like maybe it's not that big of a story. Sounds like it's kind of hyped up. Hey, Fester.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm looking and thinking of you when I mention this, but did you see that Publix is scaling back?
On what?
Literally.
On what?
The scale.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Those scales are impossible to find. The company's out of business.
They stopped making them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the deal. So,
or if they're not out of business, they stop making them.
No, right? they don't make them anymore.
I think the company, it's like Toledo something.
Yeah, it's Mettler Toledo. It started out as Toledo Scale Company, like, back in the early 20th century, early 1900s, Toledo Scales. And then I guess some company named Mettler bought them, and then it became Mettler Toledo. Anyway, I saw a story from Click Orlando that new Publix stores will not have the scales. The famous, ubiquitous, you walk into Publix and right there in like the vestibule or right near the front door, you've got that big, giant, it's almost comforting. It's that special, humongous scale. And the new Publix stores won't have them because they can't get them.
They don't. I think they stopped making them like 10 or 15 years ago.
Now, hold on. You're telling me that on planet Earth, there's no other company that'll make a scale that you can step on?
I mean, if you look at that scale, that's really a throwback to like something out of the 1940s.
Well, let me
they don't make them like that anymore.
Let me give you some details on the story. Then we're going to get into the whole cell phone outage deal. We mentioned that we started the show actually at 6 o'clock this morning. We started talking about the whole AT&T problem and all the conspiracy theories. And there's a number that was thrown out that I'm not buying. Let's try to get to the bottom. What really caused the AT&T cell phone outage yesterday? We'll get to that here in just a second. First, though, new Publix stores that are scheduled to open will be missing a very important piece of equipment. It's the free weight scale. According to Publix, these scales, which have become, ubiquitous, it's become synonymous. You walk into Publix, they've got the old-fashioned scale. They're not going to be available at new Publix locations. The scales go back to 1930 when the first Publix store was opened in Florida. What was it? Lakeland area?
Lakeland,
yeah, it was where first Publix was.
George Jenkins.
Yeah. So in the early years, Publix put the scales in for free for customers to use. Scales typically required you put like a penny, a nickel, or a dime in, but Publix didn't require money. They allowed you to jump on their scale for free because back in the 30s, people did not typically have scales in their home. Our founder, having the vision to be a customer service expert, he thought having scales in the store without having our customers pay for it would be a treat, and it was, said Dwayne Stevens, who worked for Publix for about 4 decades. However, customers won't find scales in Publix stores outside of Florida and Georgia because...
so I knew outside of the state of Florida, they were eliminating the scales just because they can't get them.
Right.
Then the repair of them, the parts of them you can't find.
Yeah, Publix officials, they told News 6 in Orlando that the scales manufacturer Mettler Toledo stopped making them a few years ago.
Yeah.
So the company's still around. So Mettler Toledo scales, they're still around.
There's several locations of Mettler Toledo in the Bay Area.
Yeah, so they don't make the scale anymore. So why wouldn't you continue to make the scale? even if you only get orders for a couple of dozen a year, I mean, so you have a little specialty department that just slaps in. I mean, really, is
It kind of drives the cost up if you're only making a specialty. I mean, these aren't worth $10,000 each, are they?
The manufacturer, this Mettler Toledo, and of course, Toledo Scales is famous for 100 years. So they ceased production of the scale in 2015. Meaning that one day, although our wonderful repair shop keeps our remaining machines in great shape, the last Publix scale will retire. When scales are taken out of a store, they go for a spruce up to the repair shop. They could wind up going to another store, or they may be held for parts to utilize in other scales. So as a result, the scales will not be put in any new Florida stores. Publix bought up as many of the scales as they could before Mettler Toledo stopped production in 2015. The remaining scales are kept in stores or in a warehouse in Lakeland. Man, I want a tour of the scale warehouse.
It's really not quite as cool as you think. It's just a bunch of scales.
Yeah. The main technician at the warehouse said the scales last quite a long time. He worked on one that was built in 1971. I mean, how does that break? I mean, like
a spring goes bad, a spring eventually gives.
Does Fester step on the scale and it breaks?
Hey.
What does it go?
They're going to replace it with new digital scales. Like, too fat, get off. So, did you know the Publix scales only go to 300 pounds?
Oh, so it didn't work for you for like right now. What are you at right now?
A lean 325.
All right, so the scale. Does it stop, or does it like start to spin around somewhere else?
No,
or
it goes a little bit past 300, and then it looks like the arm is going to. That's probably the most amount of repairs. I mean, it's not, housewives and little kids going out there. It's the big fatty boom baladdies who are walking up on the thing like, okay, how much do I weigh? And the scale's not good for that.
The stores that have the old scales, they'll keep them in the stores as long as they can remain functional and can be serviced and repaired. So I would imagine that a lot of the Publix stores are going to have the scales for a long time to come.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, going to Publix, it was all about the scale for me. I mean, whenever Mom or you said, we're going to Publix, I'd be like, yes, I get to get on the scale and weigh myself.
Yes.
So it's fun for the kids.
Hey, Michelle and I did a little follow-up visit to, remember the story of Mickey's Subs?
In South Tampa, the number one fast cheap eat or something like that?
Cheap eats, yeah. Mm-hmm. So Michelle and I did a little lunchtime follow-up.
Is it Mickey's or Mikey's?
It's Mickey's. So it's Mickey's Subs. So Michelle and I
and Chloe
we went on, what day did we go? Was it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, we went Tuesday this week. We went to Mickey's Subs, and we had Mickey on back, I think it's September. So it's been a while since we had him on. And we've been there numerous times since, but we hadn't been in a while with Christmas break. And, Chloe and I went to Indonesia. And I just wanted to do a little, follow-up visit. And we had a delicious sub. And the reason why we had Mickey on the first time was because out of nowhere, like boom, Mickey's Subs, this is a little sub spot. It's inside this duckweed market in that little marina, the apartments in the marina just south of Gandhi on Southwest Shore. So you turn down Southwest Shore right off of Gandhi Boulevard, and then a little down on the right, you've got that community, you got all the apartments in there. It's like the waterfront marina. And inside this market called the Duckweed Market, in the back corner, that's where Mickey has his sub stand. And out of nowhere, last September, USA Today named his sub counter number one for the best cheap eats in America. And it was blown away. And we went for lunch earlier this week, and it's still fantastic.
That's awesome.
It was really good.
I mean, the bread he uses, all Boar's Head stuff, all the fresh veggies, just a great fresh sub. And, I got to listen, it's better than the chains. It's better than the big national franchises. I'm sorry, it is. Mm-hmm. And he just does a great job. So if you're looking for a great sub, I want to see a small business operator do well.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a great sandwich, it's Mickey's Subs. in South Tampa inside the duckweed market. You got to be careful when you say duckweed.
Yeah, right.
Inside the duckweed market.
And you're off by one letter. You're just looking and looking, and you don't see any of those.
Yes, Pat, is there an I?
Sorry, Todd.
Sorry, no I.
No I.
So, a little plug for Mickey's subs. Really, delicious, fresh sandwich.
That's cool.
So, you give them a visit, when you get an opportunity. Hey, speaking of food, restaurant prices up 5.1% in January. Everyone says, inflation's cooling down. Well, not everyone. The government is saying inflation's cooling down. Hey, folks, let me ask you a question. Are you seeing a reduction in inflation? Are the food prices at the supermarket suddenly dropping? I'm not seeing that.
I don't see anything going down in price.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe gas is steady, fluctuates a little bit.
No. Gas has been going up. We had gas, a month ago, we had gas that was like, I think I saw $2.99. I think I saw like some $2.86.
Yeah.
And gas is now back up to like $3.25 on average for a gallon of the cheap stuff, the 87 octane cheap unleaded.
I'll tell you, the price of Captain Crunch is through the roof. Because I know exactly how much it is. And
Yeah.
I see it every time I go to the store, and I was like, oh, wow. They raised it again.
Yeah.
They raised the price of soup. Soup used to be $1.99 a can for Campbell's. Now it's $2.19.
No,
Wow.
everything's up. Everything. All right, so the whole cell phone issue yesterday with AT&T. Let's dive back in. We dealt with this first thing this morning, and for the most part, I believe all the cell service is back. But yesterday morning, if you were on AT&T, beginning at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning into the 5, and then through morning drive, and for some people, it was the whole damn day, had trouble with their AT&T wireless phone with this major network outage. Now, T-Mobile and Verizon said that their networks were fine, but it was kind of weird because people were saying, oh, no, it's not just AT&T, Verizon and T-Mobile. And when you step back and you think, I don't know if Verizon and T-Mobile had an issue or it was just that T-Mobile and Verizon customers maybe were trying to call people on AT&T and they were having trouble, and then they attributed that to their networks when in fact it was AT&T. It doesn't appear that Verizon and T-Mobile, even though the reports were out there, big outages, all three major carriers with outages. No, it appears that it was AT&T had the major outage and that Verizon and T-Mobile did not, but you can see how a story, starts to snowball. So what caused it? All the conspiracy theories were flying crazily yesterday. Oh, it's sunspots. It's the Russians. No, it's the Chinese. It's this. It appears, according to numerous reports, that they did a botched software update on their network at like 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and that the software update, it frigged up the network. That's what it appears to be. From ABC late last night, a temporary network disruption that affected AT&T customers in the U.S. on Thursday was caused by a software update, according to the company. Now, again, I have to float the idea. Do you believe it was a software update, or do you think it was a hack? Could it have been a cyber attack? That's all part of the, the conspiracy theories, when in fact, a botched software update is really a plausible explanation.
Don't give me your plausible explanation. Yesterday was a field day for every conspiracy guy out there. It was like the best day ever for them.
AT&T told ABC News in a statement that the outage was not a cyber attack, and it was caused by the application and execution of an incorrect process used as we were expanding our network. Translation, they were trying to do some kind of a software update, and they effed it up.
Where the hell is Lily in all of this?
Yeah.
Where's the AT&T spokesperson? You go into the store, she's always there. She's always helpful.
In her loosely fitting Oxford.
Yes.
That's it.
We don't want to show how voluptuous Lucy is.
We're continuing our assessment of today's outage To ensure we keep delivering the service that our customers deserve, the software update went wrong according to preliminary information from 2 sources familiar with the situation. Sources have told ABC News that there was nothing nefarious or malicious about the AT&T cell phone outage.
What do you expect them to say?
The outage was not, well, there are folks that are obviously going to say that. Oh, yeah, you expect me to believe
They'll never believe
the corporate company lie. Anyway, the FBI is investigating. CISA, the cyber infrastructure arm of Homeland Security.
CISA?
Yeah, CISA.
Isn't there a rapper named SZA or
No,
something?
singer. She's a female singer.
Okay. Is her name SZA?
That's
SZA.
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
SZA. Because I've seen her stupid haircut when she performed on SNL. Yeah,
She's actually really talented.
Oh, no, she is.
I like her.
Yeah. The outage was not caused by an external actor, according to a source familiar with the situation. AT&T performs updates regularly, according to the source. Now, a lot of the news reports said that 74,000 people were affected. BS, man. Come on, 74,000 nation. No, it was like probably tens of millions of people on AT&T were affected. Where the hell did 74,000 customers were affected?
74,000 customers in Pinellas County were affected.
I can get 74,000 people to call us right now at 800-990-1047.
Come on.
Get out of here. There's a lot more than 74,000. In an earlier statement to ABC News, AT&T said some customers were experiencing wireless service interruptions. What do you mean some? Like everyone. It's like every damn customer had a problem.
By some, we mean almost all.
Yeah, by Thursday afternoon, the network had been fully restored. Here's the statement from AT&T. You know what? Let me grab a couple of calls on this. If, in fact, you can get through on your AT&T wireless phone. I'm a Verizon customer. Can you hear me now? All right. 800-990-1047. Yeah, if you want to, kind of weigh in on the postmortem, when did your cell service, if you're on AT&T, when did your data, texting, and voice come back on your AT&T wireless? 800-990-1047. Or listen, if you want to add fuel to the conspiracy fire, go ahead.
Either way.
If you're not believing that it was a botched software update early yesterday morning, hey, I don't mind hearing you out. I'm just saying that it is extremely plausible that it was something as simple as that. And there is more. Hang on. So the statement from AT&T was, we have restored wireless service to all of our customers. We sincerely apologize to them. Keeping our customers connected remains our top priority, and we're taking steps to ensure our customers do not experience this again in the future. 2 sources briefed on the situation told ABC News that the FBI and Department of Homeland Security, among other agencies, had been urgently investigating to determine whether the AT&T outage was the result of a cyber attack or a hack or some just technical malfunction. So that's where we are. And then 911 was affected.
Yeah.
A bunch of, agencies, fire, police, rescue across the country. There were 911 issues. Guess what? Then a bunch of police departments yesterday had to tell people on social media, please do not call 911 to test to see if it's now working. Yeah, don't just call 911.
All right, just checking, making sure. I saw reports of parents who were freaking out because they couldn't get a hold of their kids, or they just weren't in connection with loved ones. So it was a scary time, I guess. I think it was more hype than anything.
It does highlight and showcase that foreign actors have penetrated our infrastructure, whether it's power grid, cell phone networks. That was one of the deals with a Chinese company. You've heard of Huawei. There are 2 Chinese companies, Huawei, Huawei, I believe, Huawei, and then ZTE, and they do a lot of telecommunications and switching equipment. And Huawei was trying to get contracts for 4G and 5G networks in the United States.
Yeah.
And for security reasons, all the big companies, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint back when they were before they were absorbed, and AT&T, they all avoided using, because of a lot of warnings, they didn't buy a lot of the Huawei and ZTE Chinese manufactured cell phone switching equipment because the concern was that in the event of a war with China and the fact that any company out of China is essentially penetrated by the Chinese Communist government, that they were worried that there would be like kill switches and backdoors and all kinds of ways that our cell networks could be shut down in the event of an emergency.
So,
And that could be like a hack perpetrated upon us by an enemy government. So all the major cell companies did not put the Chinese switching equipment into our cell networks.
I'm glad they said no way to Huawei.
Yes. All right, let's hit phones on this. Every line is jammed. Let's grab Sheila. Sheila's up first in St. Pete. Sheila, hi. You're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Yesterday morning about 10:15, I had my full AT&T product network, the whole thing. I had it all.
All right, so by 10 a.m., so 9 a.m. it was still busted, but by 10 a.m. you were fully back.
Yes, but fortunately at work I got text messaging and internet because of their internet and not AT&T, but I couldn't make any phone calls.
Yeah, and listen, there was obviously millions nationwide. I mean, I don't know where that stupid number came from. 74,000 people were without service. No, multiply that by 100.
Yeah, every minute, 74,000 new people were affected.
Exactly. Thank you, Sheila. Sam is in Sarasota. Hello, Sam. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Sam. What's up?
Yeah, so from the time I woke up yesterday at 6 until 12:45, in Sarasota at least, I didn't have any service. It just said the SOS. But luckily I had a work phone and was able to, on Verizon.
Yep.
And was able to, see what was going on. But as far as the number goes, I think that's the 72,000 is just talking about actual reports. And I know for me and my family, none of us reported it, so...
Yeah, so that could be that like 74,000 reported on like downdetector.com that the network was down. But clearly it was tens of millions in the country. But Sam, also, what did it feel like for 6 hours and 45 minutes to not have a cell phone? Did you feel like you were lost in space, like you were floating in a never-ending vacuum?
No, I listened to the radio. I was listening to 104.7 yesterday.
Yep.
And, just to kind of see, that was the first time I was like, oh, wow, this is actually happening.
Oh, so you heard us talk about it yesterday morning.
Yeah, I thought it was just me, but, I got in my work truck and started going and, found that it was, nationwide. But
all right, so you didn't have serious cell phone detachment anxiety yesterday?
No,
Well, you had your Verizon work phone, so there you go.
Well, yeah, but anyway, yeah.
Sam, thanks for the call. Have a good one. Ryan, man, a lot of Sarasota today. Ryan in Sarasota. Hi, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing well, Ryan. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, I own a home watch and home service company in Sarasota, and I rely on my cell phone to do home inspections with my phone. I was out from like 9 o'clock to 1 p.m.
Oh, that sucks for business.
I know, it was terrible. But the good thing is I felt like I was back in the 80s with no cell phone, just a pager.
Let me run back to the office and get on the landline. Let me see if there's a message on the beep answering machine.
Yeah, exactly. Let me look for a payphone.
Yeah, let me find a payphone. I wonder, is AT&T going to credit people's accounts for the outage yesterday?
What, for 6 hours?
That would be awesome. Everybody could use some extra change these days.
Yeah, you'll get a 32-cent break off your bill next month. Thanks for the call, Ryan. JC's in Tampa. Hey, JC, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
Hey, good morning, MJ. Big fan here.
Thank you, buddy. What's up?
So I do rideshare, right? All night. That's my job, full time.
Yep.
And I'm taking this lady like around 3:30 to 4 a.m. to the racetrack in the gas station where they don't call her. And all of a sudden the thing goes black, like, it freezes, like the application, right? And then her application, she does AT&T too, so it also like freezes completely, but we already know where we're going. So we stop there, we get down, and the people inside the racetrack also, their phones have, frozen, like, everything like, like SOS with the thing on top.
You know, I can imagine, here you're a gig employee, you're doing ride share. If you lose your cell phone, I mean, if you were AT&T doing ride share, man, you were out of business from like 4 a.m. yesterday until service got restored. Hey, good point, JC. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Eric is in Tampa. Eric, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning, guys.
All right, Eric, I got a bunch of calls, so what's your story?
Yeah, I was on a field trip to Nassau with my daughter's school, and we were on the second day, and I had to wake up at 6, and I started seeing the SOS, but I had the Wi-Fi hotel.
Yeah, see, that's what a lot of folks are saying, that on I've never seen SOS. Like on my Verizon, I never get SOS, but people on AT&T were all seeing the SOS.
What does it stand for?
So I try to restart and do all the things that you can do.
Well, SOS is distress. It means save our ship.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that on a phone. Out service,
SOS. It means distress, is really what it means.
So I figured, like, okay, we'll probably come up later. So then we reached the NASA area, KSC.
So, Eric, how long did it take for your service to fully come back on AT&T?
To me, it was like through 3 p.m., 4 p.m.
Yeah, see, there are mixed reports on that. So we're hearing that some people had until like the end of the day before their service was restored. We just had a caller that said, 12:45, and some people had service back by 10 a.m. But apparently some people it's the whole damn day.
I know, and some T-Mobile parents they were losing too, and they were getting SOS as well. I was like,
Eric, thanks for the call. Have a great weekend. Hey, Andrew, I'm just going to take the last ones that you've screened, and I got to move on. Daniel is in Bradenton. Daniel, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
Good morning. Hey, I start work at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I had to revert back to paper logs for the day.
Wow.
Our electronic log system, our routing system, everything was just down.
All right, so let me ask you a question. When the story came out that it was a software glitch, they were doing an update at AT&T, and that's what messed it up. Do you believe that? Are you a conspiratorialist to think that it was solar flares, the Russians, the Chinese? What do you think?
I'm going to go with on the side of error that they screwed up. I've used to work in a insurance business, and I've watched them do software updates and watched them all go wrong. And
hey, listen. Hey, we've working in radio, we've had software updates. Not only here at Beasley, but when we were working for Clear Channel and iHeart, Fester, they've done updates to like our computer systems, like the mainframes that run all the audio, plays the commercials, plays the music, and we've had a couple of bad installs where they've totally jacked up the system and screwed the damn thing up. And you got the engineers and the IT folks, they're pulling out hair in clumps, running around the building. Hey, Daniel, thanks. All right, two more quickly. Let me grab Nina in Spring Hill. Hello, Nina. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Nina.
Hi, yes. My cell phone went out about 5 a.m. when I got up to actually call out of work because I wasn't very well. So that's when I noticed it was at 5 a.m. yesterday morning.
And when did your phone fully restore on the AT&T network?
Not till about 3 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Did you ever get to call out of work?
No, I didn't. I actually had to go in and then explain that I wasn't very well, and then they sent me home.
Did you cough all over them?
No, I wasn't that. I had a migraine.
Okay, all right.
But, I was more concerned because I couldn't contact my child at school. For me, my anxiety was I couldn't speak to my child if I need to, and he couldn't call me if he needed to. So that was my anxiety. But
hey, Nina, did you see the hit movie Leave the World Behind by any chance?
No.
Yeah, so it's the Netflix kind of sci-fi thriller where all the tech goes out and we're under some kind of an attack. And apparently yesterday people were freaking out because of the the huge popularity of Chloe, you saw Leave the World Behind, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Fester, did you see it? It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
The big claim to fame was like the Obamas helped produce the movie. And I thought the movie was okay. I just thought that it had a bunch of holes in the plot, and there was really no explanation of what.
Ending
yeah, the ending sucked exactly. So, hey, Nina, thanks for the call. But seriously, yesterday people were having major leave the world behind anxiety, and it's on Netflix. If you're looking for something to watch this weekend, listen, I'd give it a watch.
A glowing endorsement. A lot of holes in the plot, and the ending sucked. But give it a watch.
Well, no, because
lose 2 hours.
It's a really interesting movie. I liked the whole thing until the very end. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, that's how it ends.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil the end of the movie, but bottom line is it worth a watch? Yeah, there's a lot of hype on it. And the fact that AT&T had the big tech outage and the movie was just really popular, over the holidays and everything. And tens and tens of millions of Americans watch this thing. And then the cell service for AT&T goes out. People are like, oh, my God, we're living a real leave the world behind. Some folks are on social media. They tried to warn us.
That's always been one of my biggest fears. Like the whole grid going off and everything. We're under attack.
Yeah. Some dope named Josh screwed up the software installation at AT&T, all right?
It's his fault.
Blame Josh. I have no idea what the name of the guy is, but somebody. All right, one more call, then I got to move on. Nathan in Tampa. Hey, Nathan, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
What's up, guys? Apparently, I'm the only one that did not lose a cell phone.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You're on AT&T?
I am. AT&T.
You're telling me that your cell phone service did not go out yesterday?
My cell phone service did not go out, and then about 9 or 10 o'clock, I got a software update, and I thought that was the fix for it, so it wouldn't happen again. So I downloaded the software, and then my phone went into SOS mode. But prior to, I was not down.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
That is very interesting. I haven't seen anything with that type of scenario. Nathan, thanks for the call. Have a phenomenal weekend. So I think that's about it. It's going to happen. You're going to have software glitches, software updates. Things are going to happen. If you're a major communications company like AT&T, you probably want to figure out what happened and try to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
However, is it a little bit of a wake-up call? I don't think there was anything nefarious. I don't think that it was a hack. You had folks on TV, and cable news went crazy on this yesterday. So you had all kinds of folks on cable TV, the talking head interviews, and some were saying, oh, yeah, this has all the hallmarks of a cyber attack. There was, hold on, let me find the story.
What, when you said bad actors earlier, you said, I instantly thought of Steven Seagal and
No.
You're it could have been a foreign government. It could have been some bad actors. And I'm thinking like Jean-Claude Van Damme. What's he doing to our system?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the story. I just threw them in the trash. But there was a story that I read. Oh, here we go. It was a Daily Mail piece. Let me find it. I think I highlighted it, but I didn't use this when I was talking about it. Here we go. Lee McKnight, associate professor at Syracuse University in New York, said the widespread nature appears to be a massive distributed denial of service, one of those DDoS attacks, on core internet infrastructure, that it has all the hallmarks of this. Well, apparently it's not. It was just some software update that went wrong.
Just a glitch.
You know, the progress bar was just stuck at 17%. That's what it was.
The little spinning wheel just kept going and going. Just never advanced anymore.
Spin it all around. All right, shifting gears here. All right, I'm just going to whack you with something out of nowhere, right? 63% of Americans will hold in their poop on a date.
Dude.
I can vouch for that.
I
mean, not to be TMI.
No, 63%. You're not alone.
Yeah.
I saw this story. I saw this stat. I'm like, all right, how do I broach this topic?
I took the survey.
You just come right out with it. 63% of Americans say that going number 2 in the presence of others is a major do not do.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Hold on. If you're at a restaurant, you don't excuse yourself for something?
It's called,
you can.
Well, it's called poop-xiety.
Yeah.
So, Chloe, you have poop-xiety?
Yes. Well, the thing is, I have been on dates, and you don't want them knowing. If you're in the bathroom for a very long time.
Oh, I'm out on a date. I'm sure this girl doesn't poop.
Well, yeah. But if you're in the bathroom for a very long time, you're going to think that they're assuming that you're pooping.
So what?
And I don't want people to know that.
Get it out now.
I take a very quick time in the bathroom when I'm on a date.
Yeah, this was a survey done for MyFitnessPal, and 4,000 people were surveyed. MyFitnessPal apparently is some nutrition app. So 4,000 people were surveyed, ages 18 to 59, about bathroom habits around their loved one or on a date. And it turns out 56% of Americans said they'd only answer the call of nature around other people if it became an emergency.
Huh. Not me.
63% won't even think about running to the bathroom for a number 2 in the loo if a date or significant other is in the vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's poopsiety. People are afraid to do just a basic, human element,
I'd rather do it in the comfort of my own home, in my own bathroom.
Like what if
Actually, not in my own bathroom.
What if a date's at the house?
Oh, I still don't think I would. I'd wait till they're gone.
You know what popped into my head? You know the song, Everybody Hurts? I just thought, everybody poops
sometimes.
So 63%.
I got no problem. I FaceTime people from the can. I mean, I don't understand what the issue is. You got to go.
Are you a toilet talker?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I got a little stand where you could clip your cell phone to it, so you could just
little tripod.
Right. It's like the portable toilet paper rack, and it has a cell phone holder on it.
Oh wow, genius!
FaceTime while I multitasking.
Fester is a toilet talker, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll talk to you.
All right, if you're sitting in traffic this morning, sorry for this bit of bad news. Sitting in traffic every day fuels buildup of Alzheimer's, causing plaque in your brain. So now,
oh come on!
So on top of inhaling all of the exhaust, right, of all the cars around you, now a new study, according to the American Academy of Neurology, that they're reporting a troubling connection, possibly between smog and dementia. Scientists say that people exposed more often to traffic-related air pollution are more likely to develop high levels of amyloid plaques in their brain. The plaque that has been long considered a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. Have you ever known anybody that called Alzheimer's all-timers?
Old-timers?
No. I mean, and I've heard some really intelligent people that are smart or, well off. And instead of saying Alzheimer's, they'll say all-timers, like ALLTIMER at all timers. No, it's Alzheimer's. You got to Z in the word. Alzheimer's.
I'll remember that until I get Alzheimer's.
So I'm sorry if you're sitting in traffic every single day.
Then I won't remember anything.
Apparently, now they're saying that assists in this bad plaque buildup in your brain. So I'm sorry for the bad information. And, listen, traffic around the Tampa Bay area over the last couple of years has gotten just unbearable in many areas.
I mean, look on the bright side, though. Later in life, you'll forget about this traffic.
I'll tell you what, in my hood, you ought to see the traffic. And look, I know that wherever you are in the Tampa Bay area, that you've got areas where the traffic has just exploded.
It's horrendous in some areas.
By the way, that's acceptable. Exploded is a perfect replacement for exploded.
There's another family saying, I know a guy who's very smart and kind of well off, and he says exploded all the time. There's an EX in that, It's not ass anything.
The point is many of our listeners around town, you've seen traffic just get ridiculous over the last, really kind of post-COVID. Traffic has just gotten insane. And, in my little neck of the woods in South Tampa, the traffic on West Shore Boulevard and Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Going northbound, 3:30, 4:35, 6 at night. The traffic, if you're heading northbound on West Shore and you're about to hit Kennedy, the traffic backed up all the way down West Shore, which, it's really a single lane road. Then it opens up near, near Azeel. It opens up to 2 lanes till you get to Kennedy Boulevard. But the traffic is insane. And then they want to do that massive new mall project at West Shore and add thousands of people and all kinds of, residences and apartments. There's a huge plan, folks, to demolish some and add major components to West Shore Plaza at West Shore and Kennedy Boulevard. And there's a construction plan to turn that into a whole massive kind of town center with apartments. And I mean, look at the traffic now over there. I mean, that's insane.
I'd love to live at the West Shore Plaza, especially if they put like a Red Robin or something in the parking lot.
Listen,
that'd be awesome.
Before you do massive expansion at West Shore Plaza, you got to figure out the traffic over there.
That's not how this town operates. Let's build 10,000 houses off this one-lane road. It'll be fine.
Let's put Trader Joe's on Swan right in the middle, essentially, of a residential neighborhood. What could possibly go wrong?
He can't go a day without mentioning that.
All right. 8:51. All right. This wraps up an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. And yes, Fester.
Real quick, all the active Facebook followers and people who are texting me, we've been having an informal count of how many days in a row MJ says Indonesia. It stopped at 8. MJ did not say Indonesia yesterday. So you said it a couple times today. People are texting me like, oh, the streak continues. The streak continues. No. The streak ended at 8 shows. Yesterday, you did not say Indonesia, so it is over. Stop texting me saying, he said it, he said it, he said it.
That is hilarious. I didn't know you guys were doing that.
He said it every day last week, and he said it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. So I put it on a Facebook page. How long is this going to go?
Because Chloe and I went to the geographical location that you just described. I'm not going to even say the word now.
I don't care if you say it 100 times today. I don't care if you say it 100. You said it the first segment of the show. The first 2 minutes of the show. I'm like, damn it. You didn't say it yesterday at all. The streak could have been up to 10 days.
Yeah.
But no, it stopped at 8, people, so stop texting me about it.
Anyway, an hour and 20 minutes plus of Nonstop MJ Morning Show has just concluded. I got to get to that celebrity pile. There's a lot of weird celebrity stuff today. Andy Cohen, big accusation on the Bravo star. Steven Tyler, update on, kind of a creepy claim there. Gwen Stefani, wants to throw up in her mouth. All right, we got a lot of weird. Wendy Williams, terrible update on Wendy Williams. Then there's another daytime show, crazy story you got to hear about. So hang on, all of that next and more. MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Stand by. If you want an event... All right, 9:01 at the MJ Morning Show. MJ here. Fester over there. Chloe filling in today as well. Froggy and Roxanne back on Monday. Chloe during the break was kicking herself because she missed a joke. We were talking about the whole poop thing. About 63% of people don't want to poop around other people.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
But hold on, you just said you missed a joke during the segment.
I know, but I don't want to talk about the POOP anymore.
Well, hold on. Go ahead and deliver the joke that you missed.
Well, Fester was talking about talking on the toilet and everything, and I said...
Yeah, Fester's the toilet talker.
I'm a toilet talker. I'm a toilet FaceTimer.
Oh, God. What do you hold the phone to where you try to hide the fact that you're sitting on the toilet?
Well, yeah.
Or you don't care?
Well, both is two things can be true at the same time.
Kind of a giveaway. If you're like doing like the up tilt, if you're like, hey, you're doing the up tilt, then they can see like the vent. They can see they can see the ceiling fan in the toilet room.
They see the glare off of my shower. Right? So yeah. Anyway, I have no issues.
All right. So Chloe, what's the joke that you missed? Go ahead.
I was talking to Fester and I said, you could do a podcast on the toilet. Call it Poopcast. All right. All right, enough. I didn't want to say it.
I tell you, the apple didn't fall far from the tree on this. Oh, man.
There is a viral hoax going around. It's not true. Some people were freaking out and panicking. I don't know. There was a viral email or some kind of social media going around that Google was shutting down Gmail. Google is not shutting down Gmail. No. Yeah, there's a hoax statement that was purportedly put out by Google yesterday that claimed that Google was going to shut down Gmail. And I guess some people started panicking. It's bogus. It's BS. Google is not shutting down Gmail.
Aside from the actual search feature, is Gmail their next biggest service?
It's got to be.
Yeah, seriously.
I would have to say that searching Google is number one, and then number two clearly has got to be Gmail.
Yeah,
through Google. I'd say without a doubt. So let's don't fall for it. Yeah, there was a hoax going around that on August 1st, 2024, that Gmail users, you'll be able to access and download as the date until which So they were saying that August 1st was going to be the last day that you'd be able to access and download your emails. And it's false. It's just Google is not shutting down Gmail. It's a stupid internet hoax, and I guess people started to believe that. We have before I get into the Hollywood stuff and the celebrity stuff, I mentioned Wendy Williams. We got Andy Cohen. There's this local story that I want to mention for a second, and it's the husband of a Tampa City councilwoman who was just busted by the feds and accused of internet hacking at Fox News to steal material, allegedly, including Tucker Carlson video that never aired when Tucker Carlson, before he got fired at Fox News Channel.
This is so crazy.
This is a nuts story. And of course, he and his attorneys are saying that they've got it all wrong. He's innocent. Well, listen, you'll have your day in federal court. And is Tim Burke innocent until proven guilty in a court of law?
Well, I remember.
Yes.
I remember they raided the house.
Yeah. So this was last spring. They raided this house in, was it like Seminole Heights or Sulphur Springs? They raided this house, and it's like, what? And it was the city council woman's house that she shared with her husband, and folks were speculating, what is going on here? Why were the FBI raiding their house? Let me defer to some reporting from the Tampa Bay Times that this media consultant, Tim Burke, was charged yesterday with 14 federal crimes related to an alleged computer hacking at Fox News Channel. Federal law enforcement officials arrested Burke, who's 45, yesterday morning. Man, what a bad day. He's probably on AT&T cellular as well.
Of all the days.
Was he able to get through to his attorney? my AT&T phone's not working. Anyway, I have no idea what cell service he has. But federal law enforcement officials arrested Burke, 45, on Thursday morning, appeared in handcuffs in a federal courtroom yesterday afternoon. Thank you for the detail, TampaBay.com, but I don't need to know he was wearing a brown sweater, a white-collared shirt, and dark jeans.
Does it say what kind of jeans you were?
No, he was
he wearing
released.
Jordache jeans?
He was released on his own recognizance shortly thereafter. The indictment charges Burke with 1 count of conspiracy, 6 counts of accessing a protected computer without authorization, and 7 counts of intercepting or disclosing wire, oral, or electronic communications. So Burke, he runs Burke Communications. It's a political consulting and media consulting company. They point out in the Times that he's done work for HBO, ESPN. He had previously worked for Daily Beast and Deadspin.
Okay.
According to the indictment, Burke and an unnamed person used compromised credentials to access and save protected commercial broadcast video streams, then disseminated specific clips after taking steps to mask where they came from and how they were obtained. And, of course, Burke is married to Tampa City Council member Lynn Hurtak. She was right by her husband's side in court when he went yesterday. In a statement provided by an aide, Hurtak defended Burke, who also managed her 2023 campaign for office. I'm confident in my husband's innocence, and I support him completely. I will not be making additional statements regarding this matter. Well, thank you very much. So
Thank you,
that's what she
Counselor.
told the Tampa Bay Times on that. But hey, FBI agents had a search warrant last May. They searched the Seminole Heights home where Burke and Hertak live. They took all kinds of electronic devices, computers, all kinds of stuff he used for his media business. A letter from a Tampa federal prosecutor to Fox News obtained in May by the Tampa Bay Times described an ongoing criminal probe into alleged computer hacks at the company. The letter did not mention Burke, but the Times confirmed with two people close to the investigation that it related to the search of his home. The letter said the hacked material related to footage of an anti-Semitic rant from Kanye West and behind-the-scenes footage of Tucker Carlson on his now canceled show. I don't know what happened to Tucker Carlson. Now he's like a mouthpiece and an agent for Vladimir Putin. What happened? Is he is he working against the United States? I can't figure out what the hell happened to Tucker Carlson. But I got no interest in him.
No.
He's a turncoat turd as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so I've got some of the audio. And remember the big deal? Remember Fox News was accused, Tucker Carlson and Fox News, they were accused of deliberately withholding this anti-Semitic rant, that during an interview that Carlson did with Kanye West, that they deliberately buried this embarrassing anti-Semitic video and audio. And then it turns out that the feds are alleging that this guy, Burke, hacked in, got it, and then disseminated it to various outlets. Here's the Kanye clip that never aired on Fox.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics, with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This, as a Christian, is my belief.
That never aired. That was apparently ripped off from the Fox servers, but it never was broadcast. Then here's another clip from the, off-the-wall Kanye interview.
And now you look up, and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. I prefer my kids knew Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering.
So that never aired. And of course, the Jewish financial trope and all that. But this is just a crazy story that this local dude, his wife, a Tampa City council person, FBI raids, and now he was hauled into federal court yesterday. And, these are some serious charges here. I mean, this could put you away for years.
Is this guy a terrible person, or is he like a journalism Robin Hood of sorts, trying to go after this information?
He's claiming that he didn't hack, that they did nothing illegal. And listen, this Burke dude is innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
All right. What do the feds have? What do you got on this guy? And obviously that's going to be, rolled out through the discovery process. And is it defensible, or is he in big, big trouble? Fox, Carlson, and West are not named in the indictment, but the charges say that Burke accessed a video stream of an interview featuring a show for a multinational media company based in New York City on October 6, 2022, the same day Carlson's interview with West aired on Fox News. Other streams mentioned in the indictment include footage of a host for the same network discussing the potential threat to his house posed by Hurricane Ian. So that Carlson moved from New York. He moved, I think he has a place in Maine, but he also has a home on Gasparilla Island in Southwest Florida. So the indictment accuses Burke also of accessing a file transfer protocol server, so FTP, for one of the major sports leagues in North America. In a statement, Burke's lawyer, it's Michael Maddox and Mark Rash, defended their client's intrepid and perfectly legal reporting on West's reprehensible remarks and compared his use of login credentials to the same way users share their Netflix passwords without having been authorized by Netflix. So is that a little insight into their defense here? And
if somebody leaked the password to him and he didn't break into it. He just used a password that he might have gotten nefariously.
Listen, that's what they're saying. I mean, what's the real deal? This is obviously going to play out in a federal courtroom with a jury, most likely at some point. Yeah, the prosecutor. I know this guy. The prosecutor is Jay Trezevant. Jay Trezevant asked for Burke to be held on a 30. I think Michelle worked. My wife worked with him. Maybe at the Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office. So federal prosecutor Trezevant asked for Burke to be held on a $30,000 bond and for conditions that would limit his access to computers, etc. Anyway, this is a local crazy drama involving Fox News and Tucker Carlson that's going to play out over the next months and maybe even years, depending on how far this thing goes. But that's crazy stuff, man. A crazy accusation. And again, this dude, Burke, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
The way you kind of laid it out there, I'm almost on Burke's side. Good luck.
Well, again, you don't know the facts. You don't know all the details. I can't make a decision. I don't have enough facts at this point. I mean, he's being accused of breaking into a secure computer server, and that would be illegal. So, again, I don't know all the facts. I can't make a judgment either way. If I were on the jury, right, I don't know. Show me the facts. Let me see what let me see what the prosecutors have, and let me see what the defense has.
I am just glad that this federal prosecutor never got into a car accident and started punching people out on the Howard Franklin Bridge like the other prosecutor.
That was another federal prosecutor. That's right.
What was his name? I don't remember.
Scruggs. Yeah. Patrick Scruggs. Yeah, that was the whole Howard Franklin incident a couple of months back.
He was the prosecutor for Podium Boy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
What was his name? Adam.
I forget.
Yeah, the guy that stole Nancy Pelosi's podium on January 6th from Parrish, in Manatee. All right, moving on to the Hollywood. Just a weird day with just interesting celebrity stuff. Andy Cohen has been accused of lewd behavior, sexual harassment. Wow.
By whom?
Real Housewives alum Brandy Glanville is accusing Andy Cohen of sexual harassment.
Oh. Okay.
Where she's claiming that Andy Cohen had her watch him have sex or wanted him to have sex or asked him to watch him have sex with his partner or something. Just crazy stuff. Andy Cohen has apologized for inappropriate behavior after Brandy Glanville's lawyers sent sexual harassment alleging claims to NBC as well as Warner Brothers Discovery.
So he admitted to it.
Claiming that Andy Cohen sexually harassed their client.
So he issues an apology.
Yeah, the video shows Kate Chastain and I very clearly joking to Brandy. It was absolutely meant to be in jest, and Brandy's response clearly communicated she was in on the joke. That said, it was totally inappropriate, and I apologize. So, is it that innocuous? Or, again, there are two sides to every story. But, again, Andy Cohen, big Bravo star. He does the New Year's Eve deal now with Anderson Cooper on CNN.
He's a big wheel, man. He's he
is, absolutely.
He's a lot of these shows. He makes a lot of money for a lot of people.
In a video sent by Mr. Cohen and Miss Glanville in 2022, Mr. Cohen, appearing obviously inebriated, boasts of his intention to sleep with another Bravo star that night while thinking of her and invited her to watch via FaceTime.
So they do nothing but have like the craziest, most off-the-wall conversations, and then they videotape it. Now she's sending a message. She's suing?
In the facts that I have before me, it doesn't seem like the most egregious case of a sexual harassment claim. That's just my initial gloss over analysis of this story. It doesn't seem to be one of the worst sexual harassment claims I've ever heard of. So that's Gwen Stefani says she cannot listen to her No Doubt songs that she basically throws up in her mouth.
No doubt. They had some good stuff for
Come
a
on,
while, right?
They had some. They still have good stuff. It's not like the music disappeared.
Well, the band's over.
The band is done, but no doubt music lives on. An interview, and she says that she can't listen to her old music. Yeah, she's 54 years old now, Gwen Stefani, and she revealed that hearing songs from her no doubt past makes her want to throw up.
I find nothing wrong with those songs.
Either I think
she sounds good in them, and they're great songs.
Exactly. What's wrong with the songs? There's nothing wrong with this. And oh my God, somebody get some of that cleanup dust. That vomit powder, the salt.
It's crazy. If you are suffering from vomiting, one of the things they tell you to eat are bananas.
Oh, that's a B-A-N-A-N-A, yes.
Hollaback girl?
It's the brat diet. No, that's for like...
if you're still, if you're
sick.
upset stomach.
Yeah, the brat diet.
Bananas, rice, applesauce, toast.
Is that it? Toast? Is the tea toast?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make
I
sense.
thought it was tortellini.
Well, okay.
Or totally. Well, listen, want to see it again.
But that song, that's how my mom taught me to spell bananas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally how my mom taught me.
Yeah. She says, I can't listen to a lot of the songs because they speak so clearly to me. And it's like, you have regrets, you have mistakes you've made, and most of the songs are about that.
All right, she's not saying the songs suck. It's just because it brings up a bad memory.
She said she wants to throw up in her mouth when she hears...
because she's reminded of this ex-lover that she wrote a song about one time 20 years ago, and now everybody's still playing it.
Anyway, how does that make the no doubt people feel? That she throws up in her mouth when she hears the old music.
I'm in no doubt. Just deliver that check on the first of the month and throw up anywhere you want.
Steven Tyler has had the sexual assault lawsuit thrown out. This has been quite a thing. You've had people that have come forward, and are some of these real stories? Absolutely. I believe that some people have had memories that maybe have been repressed, or they've always held on to memories, and they're finally speaking out, maybe because of Me Too or some other things that have happened. But there have been people that have come forward and made claims against celebrities that are decades and decades old. And one of the latest ones was a woman claims that Steven Tyler from Aerosmith sexually assaulted her back in 1975 when she was 17 years old. Now, any type of sexual assault is completely unacceptable, illegal, and should never, ever happen. But coming forward in 2023, last year, and claiming that she was groped and dry humped by Steven Tyler in 1975 when she was 17. That seems like a little bit of maybe just a little bit of time has gone by that maybe you don't have a case here. Anyway, a judge has thrown out the lawsuit. This woman, Janine Bellino, made the allegations that Steven Tyler kissed her, groped her, did like a humping thing back in 1975, twice one night, and she sued. And
how do you prove a case like that?
Well, this is under the New York Victim of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act. It extends the statute of limitations for certain sexual misdeeds from a certain amount of time to even decades old. And she's come forward with that. That doesn't sound like much of a case to me, but
yeah, New York opened up a window or a period of time that these cases can be brought back. I think the window's closed now, but
that's what the whole Trump lawsuit. Yeah, with the woman that claims that she was assaulted by Trump in Bergdorf Goodman, years ago. All right, when we get back, the Wendy Williams situation, man, just a terrible story. And now we find out that Wendy Williams has the same affliction that Bruce Willis has. And then there's another crazy daytime television show story. Another big name, a daytime TV star.
Like a soap opera?
No, the daytime talk show circuit. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, wait till you hear this. That and a bunch of loose ends that we got to get to. Final chunk on the MJ Morning Show is next. Here on Q105, folks, so please stand by. Here we go, 9:31 at the MJ Morning Show, and the final chunk of the show today. Before we shut things down, I will also give you the opportunity to phone in and win. We've got Commodores tickets. That's right, the Commodores, one night only. Friday, March 8th, it's going to be at the Florida Strawberry Festival. So we've got your passes to the Strawberry Festival to see the Commodores. So stand by. We'll give those away here in just a matter of minutes. We found out yesterday that Wendy Williams, the talk show host, and I just feel horrible for her. Her life has just gone to hell in a handbasket. Some mental issues, physical issues. And now, yesterday, we find out that she's afflicted with the same disorder, the same ailment that's taken Bruce Willis from a vibrant actor to essentially a non-communicative pile of mush.
He's not vegetative or anything. He can walk around, but he's greatly compromised from where he was. And I've never heard of this disease before Bruce Willis.
Aphasia, and I've never heard of it either. But now we're hearing that Wendy Williams was last year diagnosed with progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, according to a press release that came out from her PR people yesterday. Yeah, she stopped hosting her Wendy Williams talk show back in 2022. She had a whole bunch of health issues. She had COVID-19. She never returned. You had Sherry Shepard guest hosting the Wendy Williams show before she got her own show. And guess what? We're about to segue into that, which is another, crazy story I got to get into.
I've always loved Wendy Williams. I didn't watch her show often, but when I would catch it or it would be on, she was funny and she was unique and she was comfortable in her own skin. She's an old radio person. MJ.
That's right. Yeah, I think she was on New York radio.
She was big in New York radio.
Yeah,
she got her break, on New York hip hop stations.
Yeah. Listen, we had fun with the soundbite before her health went to hell in a handbasket. We had fun with the sound effect when she was doing her show live.
It's a matter of time. She's not lonely. Yeah. I apologize.
She just did it came out of both ends right there. Can you imagine live on TV? I can't even, that's a horror right there. She must have been just horrified.
It's a matter of time. She's not lonely. Yeah. I apologize.
Look, that's the greatest gift she could have given us, and it will live for all time.
She definitely stayed awake at night thinking about that for a while.
But then there was this story that broke about the Lifetime docuseries, Where is Wendy Williams? It was made with the cooperation of her and her family. But then the press release came out that said, as Wendy's fans are aware, in the past, she has been open with the public about her medical struggles with Graves' disease. That's where your eyes bulge, right? Graves' disease? Is that right?
Yeah.
Over the past few years, questions have been raised at times about Wendy's ability to process information, and many have speculated about Wendy's condition, particularly when she began to lose words and act erratically at times and have difficulty understanding financial transactions. In 2023, after undergoing a battery of medical tests, Wendy was officially diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, FTD. Yeah, no Flores there, baby.
No, it's awful.
So the release, which was issued to correct inaccurate and hurtful rumors about Wendy's health, is what they're claiming. But what rumors, what was inaccurate?
I think they were speculating about what her health issues were. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're referring to, but over the last year, I've seen several stories. Where has she been? Because she was everywhere a couple of years ago. Then COVID happens, and now she's nowhere. Yeah. It's almost like Richard Simmons-esque.
It's terrible, and now we know that she has the same ailment, the same disease that's affected Bruce Willis. Just terrible. I can't even imagine that. So Sherry Shepherd took over temporarily to fill Wendy Williams when Wendy Williams finally did not come back. Then Sherry Shepherd then took over the slot in syndication permanently. And unbelievably, we have this crazy Sherry Shepherd story now.
What'd Sherry Shepherd do?
Well, I don't know if she did anything, but there's a crazy story that's associated with her show. One of the top executives on the Sherry Shepherd daytime talk show. Where is that broadcast locally?
I'll find out.
Yeah, is it Channel 13, Channel 8? Who runs the Sherry Shepherd show every day in the Tampa Bay market? Look that up for me if you don't mind. So listen to this. An executive with the Sherry Shepherd show has been found dead in his home up in New York.
Holy crap.
Matt Uzzle, the executive in charge of her daytime talk show, was found dead in his house back on February 13th. Cops are not commenting further. They're saying it's an open investigation. But according to sources, it might have been a suicide. He oversaw the budget of Sherry Shepherd's show.
Oh, no.
His primary job was to manage production and oversee the budget, and was under investigation at the time of his death. So sources told Page 6 that several departments were complaining about issues with petty cash, and it was recently brought to the parent company's attention that rent at the show's Chelsea, New York studio, I know exactly where that show was taped. I've walked by there many times. That rent had not been paid since September. So there are some accusations that maybe this guy was misappropriating money. Could he have embezzled? And then he's found dead in his home. I mean, talk about it. Just a weird combination. You got the Wendy Williams tragedy. You got Sherry Shepherd taking over for Wendy Williams. Now you got the top executive on the Sherry Shepherd show found deceased in his home with accusations of monetary impropriety. So maybe the guy did, off himself.
So Sherry Shepherd's on Fox 13.
What time does that come on daily?
11 o'clock.
I don't know if I've ever seen the Sherry Shepherd show.
Maybe you should watch it today at 11 o'clock.
You know what? I'm not much of a daytime TV.
No. Make time today and see if they shut the lights off, because none of the bills have been paid halfway through the taping.
Apparently, no bills have been paid over there. Fessy, you sent me this yesterday. This is pretty funny.
What is it?
You love Reddit, don't you?
I find myself enjoying it. I enjoy the threads. I enjoy the conversations. I can sit back and be a voyeur.
So what Reddit page or thread or what Reddit subgroup was this whole buddy thing?
It was just the front graphic was all it was. And I don't know if you. What
do you mean by the front graphic?
Because I saw it.
You mean the headline?
Well, it was like typed out. It wasn't. I didn't see a story that accommodated.
It was part of a thread. It was part of a discussion, and there was a headline, and it says that anyone that adds "buddy" at the end of any sentence makes you sound 100% like a douche.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
agree.
adding buddy at the end of any sentence makes you sound like a douche. All right, so give an example. Hey, buddy. Is that it?
It makes the other person feel inferior.
What are you talking about, buddy?
Yeah, like you're making me sound like a little child.
What if the ice cream man's coming around the neighborhood? Can I ask for a nutty buddy? Do they still have
No.
nutty?
Yeah, they still got them. They're delicious.
Call me man.
Hang on a minute. You've never heard of a nutty buddy?
No.
You've never had a nutty buddy?
What is the? I don't know if they have that name anymore. But what is
Nutty buddy?
Nutty? Yeah, it was the ice cream cone, vanilla ice cream in a waffle in a regular sugar cone, vanilla ice cream. Dripping with like chocolate, and then nuts on top. That was a nutty buddy.
Hold on.
Yes,
I typed in nutty buddy, and a bunch of Little Debbie stuff is coming.
No. That's been then they've gotten control of the name. The original Nutty Buddy is
it's like a drumstick.
That's the one I was looking for. So the name that people like kids of your generation, Chloe, you're 22. You know drumstick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a drumstick, but before drumsticks, there were Nutty Buddies.
And that name was canceled.
It was the Nutty Buddy.
Why?
Because nut allergies.
Apparently some child perverts also were using it.
Really?
Hey, kid, you want a Nutty Buddy?
Hey, Nutty Buddy.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No, but before the before the drumstick, there was the Nutty Buddy. So again, I'm trying to think, do I know people that put buddy at the end of everything?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'll see you later, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, do you have that report I was asking about? Hey. Oh, buddy, how about traffic today?
So if you happen to be a buddy user at the end of sentences, just think about maybe eliminating buddy so you're not judged as a douche. All right?
So when I go onto the Reddit app.
Yeah, buddy.
Look here, buddy. It pulls up popular.
Right.
So it's
cool, buddy.
It's a conglomeration of all of the threads, and it pulls up some of the funnier or more interesting ones. So I don't know exactly what thread that was in, but it's a true statement. And now that you hear people, everybody I think knows somebody who is a buddy dropper.
So back in my last semester in college, just now, I had the biggest crush on a guy. And he called me buddy.
Wait a minute. A guy doesn't call a woman buddy.
But he also called everybody buddy.
Oh.
So
hey, buddy.
Yeah, so I was kind of okay with it.
But guess what? According to Reddit, the guy's a douche.
Yeah, I don't know.
Buddy. The guy calls you buddy, calls everybody else buddy, and you still want to date him.
I know.
Whatever happened with that?
Oh, we're actually really good friends now.
Oh. So he's in the buddy zone.
He is in the buddy zone.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else before we get out of here today? Before we call it a week.
Chloe, thank you for coming in. It's been great to have you in this morning.
Yeah. Chloe kind of filled in for Roxanne. Do we know what Roxanne did today?
I think she had
It was some school thing.
Oh, I think it was a field trip with her daughters or a project.
I think she had like the calluses like scraped off of her feet or something.
No, it was something school related.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think she had to read to the class again. Who knows?
Good. Mommy first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's reading the sex-charged novel that she just finished to her daughter's 4-year-old preschool class.
Yeah. They're learning color, so she's reading 50 Shades of Grey to the art class.
Chloe, seriously, you did a wonderful job this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for everyone listening.
I had some people, including some employees here at the Beasley Media Group, comment on how great you sounded this morning filling in on the MJ Morning Show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And let's be careful out there.
No,
Sorry.
it's not time for that yet.
Now we play the music.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll let you deliver the closing line, but you got
No. It's okay. I don't really know the timing.
Well, I'll point to you.
Point to you. I'll give you the finger.
You just said it. You just said it early.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it before you.
You got to say.
Okay, fine. She said it. She said, "Thanks for coming in. You're welcome anytime."
I'll say it again.
Not yet. Don't say it yet. Let me give away the Commodores tickets. Florida Strawberry Festival. Passes to the Strawberry Festival. Your chance to see the Commodores Friday, March 8th. We'll take caller number 25 right now. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Be the 25th caller and you win. So good luck from the MJ Morning Show. If you need to get a hold of me, my private email is mj@mjmorningshow.com. Any content, any hot gossip, something we need to know, mj@mjmorningshow.com. Confidentiality is assured. You can also give me a follow and direct message me on Instagram. I'm Certified MJ Radio. Folks, we'll see you back here on Monday.
And let's be careful out there.
Beautiful.
Woo!